Wow. Wow, folks. Bear with me. I'm a little rusty. It's been a while, but for the first time in over 5 calendar months.
And how about those Devils? How about those Devils?
Wait, what was that? What was that, PK?
And how about those Devils? How about those Devils?
How about those Devils? Oh, welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And our beloved New Jersey Devils, oh, those New Jersey Devils, go into Tampa Bay looking for a bounce-back performance after that gross opening game against the Carolina Hurricanes. And what do our New Jersey Devils do? Our New Jersey Devils go into Tampa and layeth the smacketh down, beating the Tampa Bay Lightning by a score of 5-3. Beautiful performance. There is so much to talk to for all the haters, the doomers, the naysayers, the people that were writing off an entire season after just one game. Shame on all of you. Shame. And I will say, deposit your apologies in the comments and the chat. Deposit your apologies. The New Jersey Devils go into Tampa and get a big one. This was a gutsy win. Gut check time. The boys respond. Everyone, how are they going to respond? Is this the same old Devils team? And I'm here to tell you guys, this is not the same old Devils team. This is, in fact, a new and improved Devils team. And obviously, I must ask, I must know.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Woo! Let's go, baby. Let's go. This team looked like a different team tonight in so many ways. I am fired up. But obviously, before we get started, as you all know, win or lose, we booze. And tonight, we're doing a little Terramana tequila. A little Terramana tequila. Winterland. Told you guys I'm rusty. Win or lose, we booze. And victory drinks, my friends, you guys already know about victory drinks. They taste so much better than loser beverages. No loser beverages for this team tonight. Victory drinks only. Cheers to all of you. Let's go. Let's go. I am fired up, man. I am so fired up. This was such a necessary win. Obviously, going 0-2, the season wouldn't have been over, but all you doomer idiots would have been out in full force. I can't imagine how ridiculous it would have been. But just to know that this team, maybe there was a little dust, a little cobwebs game one. We kind of got shell-shocked, obviously, back to a place that probably gives the team and all of us PTSD. PTSD for everybody in Raleigh, and that is something that will have to be addressed further down the line. Obviously, if this team wants to be a competitor, they're going to have to be able to beat the Carolina Hurricanes in the playoffs and at least, come close to a series split during the regular season. But that is a problem for down the line. We see them again in January. But for now, your New Jersey Devils go to Tampa and just get a signature win early on in the season, in my opinion. Thought Tampa tried to make it chippy early. There was little scrums. Nico had that hit, or someone tried to hit Nico and he kind of dumped him. But I think this is exactly what they needed in a game after the first one. They were thrust right into the fire. It wasn't one of these games where it was just going to kind of be a walkthrough. No. Tampa came to play. They were also 0-1. They wanted to get a win. They didn't want to start their season 0-2. And the question was, were the Devils going to just crumble and fold up, or were they going to rise to the occasion? They certainly rose to the occasion, but let's just get into this scoring, man. Wow, what a game. And first period, Devils dominating the shots pretty early. And it looked like one of those nights where everything kind of might be going in a good direction for them. I mean, I didn't want to get ahead of myself early, but they looked really, really good early. And then midway through the period, Nico tries to get a shot on net, Let me just make sure we're good there. Tries to get a shot on net. It's blocked. He stays with it, and he just drives the net. He gets a shot off. The rebound is loose. Tons of bodies in front, and it gets poked in.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double try to side.
Timo Meyer, baby. Timo Meyer just crashing the net, puts it in for his first of the season at 8:30, giving the Devils a 1-0 lead, assisted by the captain and the dog, Nico Hischier and Mercer, picking up assists on the first goal. And the Devils weren't done there in that first. Oh, no, they weren't. No, they were not. Under 2 minutes later, Russian rookie phenom Arseny Gritsu gets the puck in the D zone. He comes flying up the wing with it. He does a couple moves, kind of jukes out some defenders there, and he just throws a beautiful pass across the front of the net mouth to Brown, who just angles that stick blade oh so beautifully, pops that puck up and in past Vasilevsky for his first of the season at 10-17, giving your New Jersey Devils, our New Jersey Devils, a 2-0 lead at 10-17, assisted by Arseny Gritsu and Luke Hughes. And my friends, the Devils are just getting started. Oh, they were not done. No, they were not. Nico Hischier later in the period gets the puck behind the net. He attempts a wraparound, and the puck deflects off of Vasilevsky's stick and takes a weird bounce off the defenseman and into the net.
He's pretty and he lives in Jersey City, number 13, Nico Hischier.
Nico Hischier. Woo! I waited so long to do that. Nico Hischier, the captain, getting his second point of the period, first goal of the season at 13:48, gives the New Jersey Devils a 3-0 lead, assisted by Timo Meyer and Luke Hughes. Three guys with 2-point first periods, my friends. That is a job well done. Timo Meyer with a goal and an assist in the first period. Nico Hischier with a goal and an assist in the period. And Luke Hughes with 2 assists in the period, completing the trifecta. Three guys with 2 points. And at this point, there are some people just, already counting the win and everything. Cheers to you guys. Wow, what a game. What a game. But 3-0. And at that point, I'm like, okay, this is your game to lose. Can't sit back. Tampa's no slouch. They're at home. They're going to be pissed off. They're going to have a much better showing in the second period. And sure enough, they did. The Lightning come out, and at 7:31, Lightning are in on a rush, and Point feeds Gordy with a beautiful little pass in the slot, and he rips one past Markey, cutting the lead to 3-1 at 7:31. And at that point, I was like, oh no. This Devils team has shown, going back to last season, that no safe is lead, including the game that sent us packing for the season, blowing a 3-goal lead in Raleigh in the playoffs. And so, we all probably have PTSD from this, and it's 3-1. And I'm like, okay, not too worried. The Lightning later have a goal wiped off the board that was kind of thrown in. I forget who that was, but he just kind of threw it in the net with his hand, immediately waved off on the ice. A bit of a scary moment. But then later in the period, late in the period at 17:22, Lightning with possession in the O-zone. They get the puck to McDonough at the point, and he just blasts one past Markey. I thought that was one Markey, probably wants back and should have had. Beats Markey with the bomb from the point, cuts the lead to 3-2. That is how the second period would end. And at that point in time, I think we were all just like, oh no, here we go again. Here we go again. And the third period is going to be one of those periods where you're going to have the butterflies in the stomach. You're going to be a little uneasy. Give me the air sickness bag from the airplane. I might lose my dinner. Third period starts, and pretty early on, what do you know? The Devils take a penalty. Thought it was kind of a BS penalty, if we're being real. I mean, it was definitely a BS penalty. The tripping on Siegenthaler, total nonsense. And now you're like, here we go. The refs gave him a gift, little shiny Christmas package with the bow and everything. Lightning to the power play, down 1. And you're like, yeah, this is not good. But what happens on that power play? Oh, what happens on that power play? I'll tell you, I forget who, but a Lightning player throws little bit of a ill-advised pass across the ice. It gets jumped by the Bratter, and the Bratter just picks it off, comes flying down the ice on a breakaway. If you saw my man, look, he did the little peek back. He was like, how much do I have these boys dusted by? He did a little peek back. He's like, oh yeah, I'm way out in front right now. Puts on a couple moves and just rips one, a rocket of a shot past Vasilevsky.
Jesper Bratt, tit-a-tat, where my boy at?
Where my boy at? Jesper Bratt with his second of the season, shorthanded for all you old school fans, channeling his inner John Madden. I was like, oh, I got the goosebumps. Channeling his inner John Madden. An amazing penalty killer, always a threat, shorthanded from the New Jersey Devils Stanley Cup dynasty days. Looking like a young John Madden out there. Jumps the pass and brings it in, buries it. Bratt's second of the season, a shorty, unassisted at 4:48, gives the Devils the 4-2 lead. And then a little under 2 minutes later, the Russian back at it. Our young Russian phenom, Arseny Gritsuk, this kid, oh boy, I got a lot of high hopes for this kid. But he gets a pass in the neutral zone. He brings it into the O zone, and he just drops a little pass behind for Brown. Brown holds it for a second. He goes to the outside, and he just rips one past Vasilevsky for his second of the game, assisted by Gritsuk and Shimo Nemeth. And at that point, the New Jersey Devils with the 5-2 lead. And then I could breathe again. I was like, oh, I could breathe again because we are going to win this hockey game. Obviously, the Lightning pressed and tried. And, Vasilevsky made a couple big saves after we had the 5-2 lead. We probably could have won this game 7-2. I think he stopped Bratter on a good one. I think Jack had a follow-up chance. But either way, Lightning get one at 16-17. They're controlling in their ozone. Pass towards the point, kind of takes a weird bounce. It gets on Radish's stick, and he just rips a nice one past Markstrom. There's a couple guys screening him, and Radish just didn't hesitate and just ripped it right on net, used the screen, and got it right past Markey. I think there's nothing Markey could do there. That's a super high dangerous chance there. Radish buries it, cuts the lead to 5-3. And then there was some scary times. Scary times indeed after that. Markey gets the who did they get the delay a game late? Delay a game late, something we've seen all too often. Markey flips it out, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Under 2 minutes left. Lightning on the power play. Obviously, pull the goalie. 6-on-4, and it's just palpitation time. Tons of chances. Guys laying out, eating pucks. Markey made a couple of big stops. A couple big blocks down the stretch there, and it was just one of those like, can time expire? Can this game end, and can we go final? And sure enough, that's what happened. Devils kill it off to end the game. A little bit of a heart attack inducing moment, but the boys hold on for a win, and my God, does it feel good against a very good Tampa team. Very, very good Tampa team. Yeah, I mean, what a gutsy win for this club. Love to see it. We go to the game stats. Devils 27 shots on goal to the Lightning 17. The first period, I think, was 14-2. Devils outshot them 14-2 in the first period. It was just complete domination. Devils getting a nice advantage in the faceoff circle, 59.3% to 40.7%. Devils 0-for-4 on the power play. Lightning go 0-for-3 on the power play. I think I said this in the chat. I was in and out of the chat. I'm doing a bunch of, while I'm watching the game, I'm trying to, lock in and whatever. But I did say that after seeing the first several power play attempts, I personally, at least for the time being, and I'm not saying permanently, but I, for the time being, want to see Dougie Hamilton back on power play one. I don't know. It just, the power play personnel and the way it performed last year, it should be way better than what it looked like. And we had a couple chances, but super underwhelming. I wanted to see Dougie back out there. And then for I forget if it was the third or fourth power play, but one of the later power plays had carryover time to the period. And we did see a brief 30-second or so power play, which featured both Luke Hughes and Dougie Hamilton. I thought that was super interesting. But for now, I personally would like to see Dougie back on power play one for now. And I also would like to see Timo get a sniff there too. I mean, if the power play was humming, I'd have no complaints. And obviously we won the game. But had we lost this game, if somehow they choked this game, I would say, regardless of how we lost, I personally would put it on the power play because you can't go 0 for 4 on the power play. Had they scored one of those, it could have been different. But I do think Luke is a good power play quarterback. But for now, it's kind of stale. I would like to see Dougie and specifically Timo as well get a chance with that unit just to see, because the results aren't there at the moment. But Devils 6 penalty minutes to the Lightning's 8, 27 hits for the Devils, 25 for the Lightning, 21 block shots for the Devils. Okay, that's a decent little stat. 17 for the Lightning, 14 giveaways for the Devils, 16 giveaways for the Lightning, 6 takeaways for the Devils, and 3 takeaways for the Lightning. And wow, guys. And we get to the player stats. Oh, so many players to talk about. First off, we start with the captain. A goal and an assist for 2 points. 3 shots, 2 blocks. You love to see it from the captain. Zach McEwen. I was texting with several of my buddies about this kid. And if I'm being honest, I like it. He's a big guy who could skate. He gets in on the forecheck. He has nastiness to him. He's throwing the body. I personally, and a lot of people are going to flame me for this, but I like the lineup with him more so than Dodonov, honestly. I really do, because McEwen brings in a different element. And I always, historically, watching the Devils over the years, I like energy fourth lines that could bring the pain. And McEwen could fly around. He did throw the body. And he looked really good out there. An energy guy, and I like it. And he's got size, and he'll drop the mitts if he has to. I thought McEwen was a very pleasant surprise on the evening. And I hope we see him in for the next game. Dodonov, we don't know what it's going to be with his injury, with the hand and all that, with the fracture. And some of that could be misinformation. It might even be worse. But I did see on X, I believe, there was a doctor or something that posts about sports injuries. And I think he said 4 weeks. Again, don't quote me on that. I'm just kind of regurgitating what I saw a doctor write in response to the injury. But if LeChance is not in the cards, I would love McEwen. And let me get ahead of myself for a minute. Is there a world where we could see a fourth line with McEwen and LeChance? Oh, my God. 2 monsters on the fourth line that could throw the body. Poof. Connor Brown, one of the signings of Fitz for this summer, upgrading that bottom 6, and Brown with a 2-goal night on 3 shots, a block, and a hit. Give it up for Connor Brown. What an outing for this young man. Earning his horns, if you will, tonight. 3 blocks and 3 hits for Pally. Okay, I know a lot of the Pally hate's going to be coming in hot. It is what it is, but 3 hits, 3 blocks. Timo Meier. Oh, Timo Meier. Another guy that so many of you have been down on. And Timo goes out there tonight, has a goal and an assist to go with 2 blocks and the 2 shots. Okay. Paulie Cotter with 3 hits on the evening. And I will say, my heart goes out to Paul Cotter. Paul Cotter is the biggest loser as a result of the Dodonov injury, because he lost his boy in Grits. And Grits and Cotter were dangerous. But the reality is, Grits looks really good. And I think at some point you will see him on the top line, if I'm being honest. I think he does at least get an audition there at some point, but he is filthy. He really looks like the real deal. And as a result, he got bumped up and he was feeding Brown. And I think Cotter was probably, I think Cotter was probably watching it and he was probably like, damn it. Those should have been my goals. I could have been the recipient of these Gritsuk passes. And it's unfortunate. Love Paulie Cotter, but yeah, he's certainly the biggest loser at the moment in terms of the ripple effect of the Dodonov injury, because he lost his line mate in Grits and they looked great together. Paulie Cotter with 3 hits on the evening. Jesper Bratt with a goal, 3 shots, a block, and a hit. Grits with the 2 assists, 3 shots, and a hit. Jack Hughes, kind of not super quiet, but you'd like to see a little more, I want to see a little more from him. 5 shots and a hit. Dawson Mercer, 3 blocks and a hit. And then we go to the D. My boy Dilly. Love me some Dilly. 2 blocks and 4 hits for Dilly. Dougie was a +2 on the evening with a shot and a hit. Pesci, 2 blocks, 4 hits. Luke Hughes, a 2 assist night, 2 shots, a block, and a hit. Siegs had a really nice pass block early on in the game that would have, if he didn't make the play, it would have been a high danger scoring chance for sure. Siegs with a block and a +2, and Jacob Markstrom. I know a lot of people are gonna look at the stats and go, "Oh, 3 goals on 17 shots," and the numbers aren't good. 824 save percentage, but I think that second one he should have had, but the other two were, I'm not going to blame Markey. He made some big saves as well. I hope he does get a little bit sharper. But wow. What an evening for the New Jersey Devils. I saw wrote in the chat. Yeah, 4 points in 2 games for Luke Hughes, who's going to be a beast, guys. I mean, was it ever in doubt? The people that kind of knocked the contract when it came out, I mean, you're dreaming. The kid is worth – he might, like I said after the last game, he might prove this year that he's worth the $9 million plus now, never mind in years from now. Right now, he's on pace for 164 points. Yeah, obviously it's not going to happen, but 4 points through 2 games. I mean, wow, great start for him, and holding down that power play 1 quarterback position. At this point, I think Luke easily hits 50 points this year, and he may hit that 60 threshold. We got the super. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate that. Don't get me wrong. I love that we won and the boys look great, but man, Mark, I knew someone was going to go terrible. 3 goals on 9 shots. His stat lines are abysmal. I agree that when you look at the numbers, Bobby, it's not pretty, but I thought he played okay. You can't just, because if a team, let's just say a team gets 10 breakaways and they score 7 of them, and or even 4 of them, you gave up 4 goals on 10 shots. Like, yeah, they're all breakaways. Granted, that wasn't the case here, but I really think only the second one was bad. And so, when the shot totals are down for the opposition and you give up some goals, it's going to look, stat line wise, it's not going to look pretty. And that's what happened to him tonight. He definitely didn't have the best game or even close to it, but I don't think it was quite the atrocity or whatever you want to call it that just looking at the numbers might make you believe, if that makes sense. But I'm a little worried about him. I think he's gonna kind of ease into it. Hopefully he is shaking off whatever cobwebs he might be working through, and we see a much sharper Markey in the in the coming days. But what a win for this team, guys. I'm gonna get to your comments in a second. Do I have anything else? Let me no, I think that was it. What a game for your New Jersey Devils. And let me just start skimming these comments here. Yo, Holmes hits him with the suck it doomers. I like that. Woodson says 1 of 5 Timo goals until March 1st. I mean, Woodson, really, guy? Oh, my God. Yeah, these are the usual suspects that I thought would talk smack regardless. But you ain't going to take away my shine. You will not take the shine off of this New Jersey Devils win, because this was absolutely beautiful. What's going on, Nicole? They're looking heavier, perhaps a bit edgier, and potentially more violent. 100%. They got, I'm going to say to some extent, they got a little punked last game, and they were not having it tonight. Tampa was like, we're just going to beat up on these guys. And if I'm the opposition, if I'm being honest, if I'm one of the opposing coaches, I straight up would be like, beat on this club. That would be my game plan. If I was going against the Devils, I would say beat on these guys, because they've shown before they can wilt and die. That's a fact. I hate to say it, but that has happened before. And they tried it immediately. And the Devils punched back. They did not cave. They said, screw it. We're in one tonight. Let's go. And shout out to my boy, Tim. I was texting with Tim, and he was like, yeah, I wish they were the initiator instead of retaliatory or, responding. Proactive versus reactive. And it's true. The Devils never seem to want to get into that realm unless they're forced there. I would like to see the Devils start taking it to teams like that and not wait till they do it. Come out and play that. Come out and play that physical playoff hockey and be like, we're going to impose our will on you. We're not going to wait until you try to, kind of beat on us for us to do it. Initiate it. I do like that. Proactive versus reactive. Don't wait till they do it. Bring them there on your own. So this is going to be a nasty game because we have the personnel that could do it. And so hopefully we see a heavier, edgier, more violent team, regularly throughout the season. It is important to play that way to win in this league. You're not going to necessarily need a ton of it every night, but in the end, that is playoff hockey. To go deep in the playoffs, you're going to need to do it. So you might as well start embracing it now. Heavier, edgier, more violent. Heavier, edgier, more violent. Let's see what we got. Dexter says Grits has tremendous vision on the ice. Yeah, he has tremendous vision. He has tremendous wheels. He has tremendous almost everything, it seems. He could skate. He could pass. He could shoot. The little drop pass to Brown was sick. The first one across the net mouth was nice. I mean, he looks like a real player. I am super pumped for Grits. He had that breakaway. I wish he could have cashed it in. I would have loved to see him score the breakaway goal. But, wow. How I got here, Jeremy Proper says 3 power plays, 0 goals, Shorty. There was actually 4 power plays, if I'm not mistaken, with no goals. Yeah, it's unfortunate. And then we get a shorthanded. You're right. Jesper Bratt jumping the pass and just bringing it on. I love the look back, too. He's like, oh, I'm cooking. He's like, let me just see. Oh, yeah, we got time. Does a couple of rips it past Vasilevsky. What a play by the Bratter. Joaquin De Silva, we have a competent bottom 6. Let's go Devils. Yeah, a lot of people, were like, oh, this is the same team. And in the end, we're going to suck. The Doomers after game 1 were saying, Fitz said we weren't going to come back with the same team. And while it obviously is by and large the same team, I would say, letting the Lazars, Bastions, Dowlings of the world leave and plugging in the Donovan Brown is a sizable upgrade. Plus the addition of our import, our little Russian friend, our young Russian friend, Arseny Gritsuk, coming over from the KHL and just cooking early. Vlacatron, Luke Hughes on pace for 164 points, Quest for 164. Jason says Luke looks already in solid form. I still have a couple little complaints, but in the end, he's creating offense, and that's how you get paid $9 million a year. Zach says a new ace would be super fired up after this dub. How could you not be? If you're not, check the vitals, check the pulse, check for signs of life. If you are a Devils fan and you are not jacked up after a game like tonight, then you're dead already. You're dead inside, because this was the type of game where you get up and get crazy. Oh man. Whew. The only thing was missing was a bout. I wanted a little bit of the fisticuffs. I thought McEwen may have cemented my impression of him on the evening, but Morkel, what's going on? Bratt forever. Tom A says Dougie needs to be on power play 1 until further notice. I'm there. A lot of people are going to disagree. Some will agree. I'm a Dougie guy. There's a lot of people that want Dougie out of here. I don't know how. I want Dougie on power play 1. Just as a result of it was a little stale tonight. I want to see, to keep shoving the same unit out there, I think is a little silly. Give Dougie a chance. But I think you're probably going to see Luke out there regularly. Ryder says, I don't care about losing to Carolina right now. As long as we stay healthy and get into form by playoffs to handle them, let them burn out like usual. Listen, I obviously liked Curtis McDermott, but the reality is the only thing he could do was fight and did it very well. Better than McEwen. But McEwen, again, very small sample size, but from this one game, looks like he could be a very good fourth liner for this team that brings the elements that I've been pounding the table for years. Give me a big guy who could mix it up, get it on the forecheck, isn't afraid to throw the body, will do the little things to win. Give our bottom, help mold the identity of that bottom 6 is just like SOB and not fun to play against. And he certainly fits the bill. He was zipping around out there. I really liked what we saw from him in the one game thus far. And I hope, for as long as the Donov is out with injury, that he gets his chance. Obviously, unless they want to give LeChance a look. Then I'm president of the LeChance fan club. I would love to see LeChance get a crack. But McEwen, and again, not to throw shade at Curtis McDermott, but if we're talking about a guy that's going to fill the Curtis McDermott role, he certainly does a lot more than Curtis McDermott could ever do. That's just the reality of it. He can actually take shifts regularly and not be a complete liability out there. Excited to see what else we see from McEwen. I really was very pleasantly surprised with him tonight. Putz Monkey says, Luke Hughes with 2 assists and people saying Dougie needs power play 1. What? Well, I'm not sure if you were aware, Putz Monkey, but the Luke Hughes assists were at even strength. The power play did not look too powerful. And so I think a lot of us just want to see a little bit of a personnel change. Samuel says, it was a good win, but you got pissed off when I said this, but I'm going to say it again. I won't cheer or panic until this month is over. We're over 500 for the month. I will only cheer. I mean, that's your prerogative. That's fine. But I mean, in terms of the outlook of the team, you have to be much more optimistic as of this very moment, or as of maybe, 45 minutes ago or so when the game ended, versus how you felt from the end of the Carolina game until at some point of this game. I mean, I think that's a pretty obvious statement. I'm trying to get closer to current times here. Dubzilla says, ban the trolls. Nicole, Brad is not appreciated enough. That play was absolute gold. It was a beautiful play. Beautiful, beautiful play. Ryder says, I've said it 1,000 times. Need Dougie on power play 1 and Luke and Nemitz power play 2, the end. If Luke isn't there yet, then how's he going to progress without power play 1 time, especially when Dougie seems to be a dealing chip for future trades? And that may be even more to the point. If you're trying to showcase Dougie and maximize his value, it's certainly not going to happen with stifling his power play 1 time. Let Luke get the power play 2 time and kind of ease into it, if anything. But I think it's a little, he could certainly progress without power play 1 time regularly. He could certainly do that while playing power play 2. Jason, Gritzy should be top 6, but he gives us a great mismatch in the bottom 6. It works well for us in that regard. Wish we could get rid of the Plot contract, but maybe buy out after the season likely. Yeah, Gritsuk is a guy where I've said this before. We're all tempted to be like, throw him in the throw him with Jack and Brad, or put him in in the top 6 and see what he could do. But I do think that probably hurts the overall team, because he might be a guy where in that bottom 6, it gives us that balanced scoring that we've all been looking for. You want a lineup that could give you goals from everywhere, and with Gritsuk in the bottom 6, that's probably your best chance. To have a guy like that in the bottom 6 and get those mismatches and exploit them. Let's see. So the breakdown today would be, 2 bottom 6 goals from Brown and 3 from the big guns. Timo, Nico, and Brad, and that one was shorthanded. So again, more of a, the bottom 6 is here, guys. The bottom 6 is produced in the first 2 games. I think by sometime before November, the bottom 6 may have more production than we did all of last season. Putz says, Luke Hughes is like, 22 and playing at this level already. The contract is going to age for sure. For sure. In a few years from now, his market value will easily be $12 million plus. I firmly believe that. Nicole, last few minutes, I was freaking out. My heart can only take so much. Oh, I know. I had the cardiac event going as well. Tom says, so you nerf your stud trade piece value? Our power play 2 looked better. Luke missed camp, and it's Dougie's job. You don't lose. It has to be taken. Luke is not better right now. We're built to win. Run Douglas. Completely agree with you, Tom. And I just said that before. I'm like, yeah, if you are trying to trade him, well, then his value is going to be maximized by letting him run power play 1 still. I'm in total agreement there, Tom. And again, it doesn't have to be permanent, but for now, after seeing what the power play did, let Dougie get a crack at it again. Nico is king. Great bounce back win. Only downsides with the power play and Markey struggling. Other than that, great effort. Faye says, agree, 0 for 4 is unacceptable on so many levels. I agree. John Faye, that McEwen guy seemed decently good. Angel Blue, Gritzy and Brown were outstanding together. Really excited to see more from both of them. Yeah. Isn't it amazing to have bottom 6 guys that could get on the score sheet? Wow. Like I said, my heart goes out to Paul Cotter, and he's in a contract year. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's just so unfortunate for Paulie. I think he was poised to have a breakout season first. And I even said this when I did my season preview. I said, for as long as they play together, and it literally lasted not even a full game. The misfortune. The misfortune. Unhinged Devs fan, I like McEwen so far. I liked his pregame interview, too. I didn't see that. Was that on MSG? Michael, McEwen can actually play. It looks like swapping him for McDermott looks like a solid but under-the-radar move. Definitely solid. And the team did not have any chances, any intentions of him playing regularly, barring an injury. And sure enough, the injury happened immediately because this is the New Jersey Devils. Why wouldn't it? And Dodonov out with the fractured hand. Insert the new guy. McEwen, and he showed out tonight. Tom A says, Grits looked like a dual threat, liked his game. Brown is a bottom six stud. Glass is looking solid as well. Mercer had some good defensive plays, but struggled in the ozone. Yeah, he had a really good, like a one-handed clear on the penalty kill as well. You guys know where I'm at with Mercer. I like Dawson a lot. I do think he's undervalued by the majority of the fan base. And he does, the little things that may not necessarily stick out to people when they want to bash him. It's unfortunate, but hopefully he could pick it up a little bit offensively and quiet some of the critics. Collect records. Win or lose, we smash the like. Let's go. Thanks. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. Robbie's bench boss. Mark, he had some big stops when we needed them, even with the shaky game. He was serviceable in its game two. It took him a bit to find his groove last year too. I think that's completely fair. He did have some big saves. He didn't look stellar, but he didn't look like what some people are trying to make him out to be. Hopefully, he gets in a rhythm very soon, and he looks like the Marquee we saw at the pinnacle of his season last year, which would probably been in, I guess, probably November or December, when he looked like he was on top of the world. Nico is King. McDermott was an elite fighter, but a liability on the ice. McEwen can fight too, but he actually looked like he belonged on the ice, was able to keep pace with our speed. Yeah, love to see it. He was flying around out there. What's going on, Selected Boy? David says, McEwen, LeChance, Cotter, if it turns into a line, will be nicknamed the Ace line. Oh, baby. What a line that would be. That would be that if that ever happened and it played out on the ice how I envision it would play out with those guys, it would easily be my second favorite fourth line in New Jersey Devils history. Second only to the crash line, which is the highest praise I could get. I mean, no fourth line could ever eclipse the crash line. They are forever cemented as absolute legends and the greatest fourth line in Devils history, instrumental in the first cup in 1995. For the younger fans or newer fans, if you're not familiar, I implore you, do your research, Google, YouTube, all of it. Look up the crash line. Mike Peluso, Randy McKay, Bobby Holik, three absolute legends, and would just go out there and punish teams. They could score goals. They would fight. They would hit. They were rock star status and a huge piece of that 1995 Devils championship team. But those three guys, I think, David, would be must-see TV. Would be a super exciting fourth line, and I would love to see it. I think we would need probably another injury for that to occur. But my God. What's going on, Ted? AJ Visco, Selecta, fancy running into you here. SST Sabres want to know what getting Fitzgerald as GM would cost. Oh, boy. Ryder says Grits needs to be stapled to Nico, in my opinion. Nico is king. That Brown-Grits connection looked strong tonight. It certainly did. It certainly did. And I think that's really a testament to, Brown being a smart veteran player and Gritsuk being a young, exciting rookie who could make plays, who's got the speed, he's got the hands, he's got the vision, he's got the shot. I mean, wow. To watch the development of Gritsuk over the course of the rest of the season is going to be something special to see. Really going to be awesome. John's face says, keep these lines the same. Don't change anything. All lines seem to work tonight. I'm not against that at all. I wouldn't change anything for the next game either. Not at all. Ben Jamin says Jack Hughes is terrified of another injury, obvious in his play. It could be in his head a little bit. Hopefully, as the season goes on, maybe he kind of shakes that. But anyone who's been injured that often, I'd imagine it is a real thing kind of in the back of his mind. Select the boy. So, yeah, they got to play hard, but play smart with the puck, and that's what I saw them do against the Lightning. M-Sharp, team effort. Tom A, we need Nico, Bratt, and Timo to carry while Jack finds his game. Well, quietly getting some assists the other night. Yeah, kind of quiet for him tonight. I wanted to see him score tonight, or at least make some big plays. But listen, as long as the team can perform like they did tonight, I personally don't give a damn who scores the goals. But it will be nice to see him, get going at some point very soon. And hopefully maybe we see that Monday night in Columbus, another big game. Would love to finish the road trip off with a big win in Columbus and come home to the Rock 2-1. I mean, I think if we're being honest, right, starting off the season, in Carolina, at Tampa, at Columbus, I think everyone here would have signed up for a 2-1 record coming home. I think that's pretty fair. And that is now a possibility. With a win Monday night, your New Jersey Devils, our New Jersey Devils, would be coming home with 4 out of a potential 6 points. I mean, that is a pretty good start, all things considered. Reaper Crew Garage says, kind of do feel bad for Cotter, but Grits is showing out. Yeah, for sure. Jack, think NJ could talk Hurdle into playing for NJ with his best friend Meyer? No, and he also gets paid a lot, I think. A decent amount. That would require some maneuvering. Max, Connor Brown, aside from the goals tonight, impressed me. Dude was in everyone's kitchen on the penalty kill. It was a great signing, guys. It was a great signing. Hopefully, again, the new guys are enough with the team hopefully being healthy is enough to make them substantially better than last season. But I understand all the people that were frustrated with the Carolina beating. I mean, I'm frustrated too, because as it stands right now, this team still does not have the answer for them, and they're going to need to get one. For now, I'm going to enjoy this win, but long-term, that is still definitely looming. The Carolina, ownership of the Devils needs to be addressed. I'm scrolling here. I'm trying to catch up. Selected Boy says, how about a round of applause for Jesper Bratt? Oh, I gave Bratter his applause, but I'll give him again. What a game for the Bratter. Channeling his inner John Madden. Brennan plays is good game, boys. I don't typically blame the goalie, but Markey on our power play would have been the sole reason we lost this game. Markey's been Garbo all year, needs to pick it up if he wants an extension. I think it's a little hard on Markey, I think. I would say overall shaky start, but he made some big stops tonight. And I really think only that second goal I would call a bad goal. So I do think you're maybe a little aggressive on our man Markey. But yeah, the power play has to wake up, and I want to see Dougie get his spot back, at least temporarily. You can't argue with the results. The results were shit tonight on the power play. Noel says Markey's just warming up. I still think he's doing great. I mean, he's not doing great, but I will agree that he's just warming up, I think, into the season. AJ Visco, driving home from the game, just started listening to your podcast recently. So appreciate that, AJ. Welcome aboard. You went to the game tonight? Do you live down there? John Fay, the Brat Man is unstoppable. He is stealthy, sneaky, and quiet, and strikes when least expected. And tonight it was on that's supposed to say PK, John Fay. But yeah, the Bratter. What a guy. Love me some Jesper Bratt. Brennan plays. Positive stars of the game for me include Brown, Palat, Siegenthaler, Grits, Bratt, Timo. Alexander says, how do we beat the Canes like this? Well, it starts with, I think, playing with a little more intensity like they did tonight. But there's a bunch of other things they're going to have to do to beat the Canes to adjust, because the Canes just have our number, and Rod Brindamore just has them out there like salivating dogs. Anson says, I feel like Bratt is better than Jack. Well, I mean, I guess that depends how you're looking at it. I think Jack is a little flashier and a little more explosive maybe, but in the end, Bratt has been Mr. Consistency. And you know what you're going to get from him. At this juncture of his career during these prime years, I think for the foreseeable future, he's going to be, on a low end 80 to 100-point guy that you could also put out there in all situations. Love me some Bratter. Alex said they will be dooming up until the cup is raised. I actually said, I think it was during the last, or maybe it was in the comments, I can't remember. But I do believe SST would find a way to doom while the New Jersey Devils were skating the Stanley Cup. He would complain about the order in which they passed the cup or some other nonsense. You can't please them all, guys, but it is what it is. All right, I'm still trying to catch ahead here. Ryder says, Meyer was a machine. I've been critical at times, but couldn't agree more. The 5-star, thank you for the super. I just saw that now. It wasn't. Nemitz or Casey, who goes first? Oof. Nemitz or Casey, who goes first? Thank you for the super, the 5-star. That is a good question. If I'm being honest, at this moment, I think it might have to be Nemitz just because he's going to get a payday after this season. And so I think for that reason alone, it could be Nemitz. I'd probably have to go with Nemitz just because of the pending contract situation. Otherwise, it'd be a closer call for me. But because Nemitz is probably going to be getting, I don't know what the hell he's going to get after the season. I guess it depends on his points and everything. But I'm imagining he's going to probably get at a minimum $5 million. And it may be even more. It could even be $6 million probably. I don't know. They're going to pull all kinds of comps for him. But I'm going to say $5 or $6 million as a loose guess at the moment. It's going to be hard for the Devils to pay him. Gritsuk is going to be owed a deal. Cotter's going to be owed a deal. And if Dougie's still here, that's $18 million tied up in 2 defensemen in Dougie and Luke. It's an expensive blue line. And so because of that, I would probably say Nemitz. That's just the hunch that I have. And it would suck to lose him. I kind of want to see him here long-term with this core and hopefully win a cup. But the way the defense is deep and with the guys waiting in the wings and then potentially Quinn Hughes coming and all these kind of things around the defense, I think it might be Nemitz. Anson says, like the feed, 220 people here, 32 likes. Oh, that's brutal stats, Anson. I can't see that, but can we hit the thumbs up? Come on, guys. What are we doing here? Don't be stingy. Jay Snow, we need another gritty forward. A lot of teams want first-round picks. This is a strong draft. You guys know how I feel about those first-round picks. I don't want to draft in the first round for the foreseeable future. Trade all of those pieces and bring in win-now players because the time to win is now. The time to win is now. Jason says, I do want to see Allen get the next start in net. Mark, you look shaky to start this season. Starting Allen next game. Trying to think, because then we have the home games, the home opener on the 16th and then the 18th. I mean, Allen's gonna have to get a start in the next 3 games, either Columbus or one of the 2 home games. I would be interested to see how they play that out. I don't have a strong opinion either way, Jason. I don't think Markey's like so bad that you have to, or has looked so bad that you must go to Allen, but Allen's going to get his fair share of starts. And at a minimum, it's going to amount to like 1 every 4 games, every 3.5 games. And so at some point in the next 3, whether it's that Columbus game on the road or one of the first 2 home games, he's going to be in there. And so I would not be upset if we did see him in the next game. But I don't think it's like a necessity. Kenny, thank you for the super, sir. Me and my friend converted him to a Devils fan. We're at the game. It was great to finally get a win down here. Tampa fans are great hosts. I was at a game when it was years ago when it was the St. Pete Times Forum. And then I don't know if it changed names a bunch of times, but then I know it was most recently Amalie Arena. And now it changed to, I forget what the hell it's called now, a bank or something. But do you live down there, Kenny? You're at a great game. Thank you for the super. I really appreciate it. You saw a great game live, and I'm a little jealous. Maria says, for a minute, I thought I was watching Carolina versus Tampa. Jack, the East is wide open this season. I agree, and especially with the Panthers a little depleted, you're going to see teams potentially get a little more aggressive probably at the deadline, and hopefully this team is playing well, and Fitz looks to make one of those moves to bolster this team to really push them over the top for a playoff run. Because as I said in the season preview, it's only 2 games, right? We saw the first game where it was kind of ugly. They kept it. They were in the game to the very end, tied it late, and then they couldn't close it out. But a very encouraging game too. I'm not going to, my opinion of this team is exactly the same as what I thought going into the season before any games were played, is that I think they're going to be a very good team, and I think they're going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. I really do believe that. But the Carolina issues continue, and it is worrisome. But I do think this is going to be a very good team, and I think we're going to need to see Fitz do something in season, something that he traditionally does not do. Tom, Tampa was dropping back, not respecting Luke's shot, and clogged the middle, shutting down power play 1. Dougie's wingspan affords him angles no one else is getting. He's also better at containing the puck in. I will say, there was a couple times where I think it kind of got past Luke. He couldn't contain. Dougie just seems like I guess for lack of a better term, like the calmer or the more, it just feels a little more calm and under control with Dougie, at least for now. I mean, listen, guys, Luke's 22 years old. He's here for, forever. Is it a necessity that he runs power play 1 today? And especially if they are trying to trade Dougie, like I said and someone else pointed out, like if that's your move, then why take him off power play 1? Let him do his thing and rack up some more points if you're truly going to try to trade him. Obviously, the fact is the power play didn't produce either. So if we're trying to win games and score on the power play, give him a shot. Ben Jam says, Dougie is the man. I'll die on that hill. Faye agrees and says, Dougie should be on power play 1, not Luke. Luke should be on power play 2. Jay Snow also piling on here. Why not start with Dougie on power play 1 when the power play was so dominant last year? Yeah, I think these are all, Selected boy Markstrom did his job in net despite those goals he let in. I thought he played okay. I think people are getting very extreme, but it seems like the fan base is kind of extreme at this point in time. We're reacting to that first loss. I mean, wow, it was pretty wild. Pretty wild. Ben Jamin says, McEwen giving me Mike Peluso vibrations. Oh, what a legend. Mike Peluso. My man. Big number 8. Love me some Mike Peluso. TJK, I can't stand Palat on the first line. Get Grits up there. I don't really want Palat on the first line either, but back to the point of, does moving Grits out of the bottom 6 kind of suffocate the bottom 6's chances of putting up goals? And I think it might. And we might be in a situation where if that is the case, that Grits goes to the top 6 and the bottom 6 struggles. It's like, oh, here we go again. We're a 2-line team and the bottom 6 can't do shit. So to me, it's not an easy decision. It is like a pros and cons kind of thing. I do think at some point we'll probably see it experimented with, but I do worry that it will kind of maybe not cripple, but it'll certainly hinder to some extent the bottom 6 scoring. Aaron, what's up? Thank you for the super. I guess Luke will be fine. He had no camp. Let him gel to power play 1. Let's go Devils. I mean, so there's a guy defending Luke. Thank you for the super, Aaron. I see both sides of it, but in the end, the power play did not score tonight. And so I think there's a legitimate reason to want to see Dougie back there, at least temporarily. Had the power play scored, I wouldn't be talking about this at all. I'd be like, let Luke run it, but that didn't happen. Walt, what's going on, Walt? Crozier need to get chin checked on more than one occasion tonight, especially after taking a run at Nico. Nobody got an opportunity to tune him up, but at the same time, the boys didn't get pushed around. Yeah, I would have liked to see a little more aggression. I thought during one of the scrums, there was a chance. I thought there was a chance that we may have seen like 2 guys kind of peel away from the pack and drop the gloves. It didn't happen, but I'm hoping we see that, tenacity a little bit more, because these teams are going to try to beat on the Devils. It's not going to be the first time we're going to see it. And hopefully some nights the Devils are the instigators of it, that they say, you know what, let's go out there and play a physical brand of hockey. It just seems like the Devils never want to take it there unless they're dragged there, which I don't necessarily like, because in the end, you're not going to have that option in the playoffs. The playoffs are going to be that. And so I think you need to force that type of game way more frequently than they have, because you don't want to shy away from it and then all of a sudden have to flip the switch come the playoffs, because it's not that easy. So if you're playing that kind of game consistently, when the playoffs come, you're like, okay, this is what it is. We've been playing this way. All right, I'm super behind. I'm sorry, guys. And I apologize if I missed your comment. Obviously, I could only read so many comments. I'm a one-man band over here, as I've explained before, and there's a million comments. So I apologize. I'm just kind of randomly trying to keep up here. Dog says, pump the brakes on McEwen. Everyone was falling over themselves over Cotter after his quick start to last year, and everyone turned on him. I never turned on Paulie Cotter, by the way. Paulie Cotter's a throwback, and I love that man. I never turned on him. I do agree that some people did after he did not sustain the unsustainable production that he came out of the gate with. But Evan, just wanted to say hi to everyone in my Devils family, and happy we are back. Appreciate you, Ace. Go Devils. Thank you, Evan. Appreciate you. Knowles, they're not saying how long Dodonov is going to be out, but I did mention earlier that I saw a tweet from a doctor who kind of responds to injuries in the sports world to give his kind of like, diagnosis of it. And I think he said it could be like 4 weeks for a fractured hand. But who knows? I'm sure there's a lot of different variables that go into that. But for as long as he's out, I'm fine with McEwen. You guys know that I also love Shane LaChance. And so if there's a world where he could get a sniff, I would certainly enjoy that. I would love to see LaChance get his chance. But if they wanted to let him kind of marinate in the AHL for now, I'm fine with that too. But just keep McEwen in there because I really did like his game tonight and what he brought. I thought I was very pleasantly surprised. John Flay, hopefully Donald's hand isn't that bad and he can come back earlier than expected. Selected boy, the Utah Mammoth take the first of the prehistoric series. Joaquin, what were your thoughts on Don's first official call? I like Don. I thought it was pretty good. I think it's going to take him some time to adjust. It's his first TV play-by-play gig. If you guys were watching the pregame, he said New York Rangers out of the gate, which was pretty funny, and then corrected himself. I was like, I knew I was going to do that once. But outside of that, he I think a couple name mispronunciations that people get real sticklerish about, which I won't, give him some time. I think a couple times he said the wrong guy outright. But, outside of these couple little tweaks, I think he's going to be very good. I love his energy. The Bratter call was great. He brings that passion. He was a Devils fan for years and years. And yeah, I think him and Dano are good together. I do like him, and I think he's going to improve as time goes on. And speaking of Don, if you haven't seen it, I just dropped the link in the chat. I did an interview with Don about a week or so after he was named the new Devils play-by-play guy. I just put the link in the chat. So if you want to see that, it was a pretty good interview. I thought I had a good time talking to Don, and he's a very colorful, exciting guy. So if you want to see the interview with Don LaGreca, I just dropped that in the chat. Roger says Mercer was amazing on the PK. He is a third-line staple player. Walt says, I think after tonight, Dougie will probably be back on Power Play 1. Keith isn't trying to advertise trade chips. He's trying to optimize who he has right now. Luke didn't have it on Power Play 1, but it's worth the shot. No, yeah, I would never say to do it, to make a move solely to get higher value for a trade chip. But in this case, I will say, I think putting Dougie on Power Play 1 is the move just because the Power Play is not doing anything. And then kind of as a secondary bonus to that, if they are trying to trade him, that also helps his trade value. But I would never make a move based on that alone. Jason said Halla and Bastion scored a goal on the same night. Is that real? Jerome, we've been waiting years now for Grits to get his chance. So happy to see him on the big club. Cheers, guys. All right, I got to catch up here a little bit. Falker, sports cards. Thought Don called a great game in the booth. Reserved when expected and booming voice when required. Going to be nice listening to him all year. No more ESPN Plus games, please. Yeah, it's so annoying to have to use the app and do. I want all the games on MSG. Daniel, do you think Marty can give some puck handling tips to Marky? Yeah, it's funny you say that. I tweeted out. Oh, if you're not following me on X, shameless plug. Leading into it, follow your boy on X. I'm not going to be on there all the time, but I am getting more involved in there. It is kind of fun sometimes, a gift and a curse. But follow your boy on X. I just dropped the link in the chat for that as well. But I did put out a tweet right after that. I said, wow, something along the lines of Marky's Marty Brodeur puck handling impression did not go as well as his glove save impression did. Earlier in the game, Marky flashed the leather and made a very nice Martin Brodeur snag out of the air with the glove. But the puck handling, yeah, not quite the same. And if you were alive during the great Marty Brodeur era and got to see the complete puck handling wizardry that he was able to pull off. I mean, it was just such a sight to see. Marty, the third defenseman, and they made a trapezoid to try to negate his powers. Unhinged Devs fan says Crash Line may be the fourth, maybe best fourth line in NHL history. They are up there for sure. Oh, for sure. Mark Rich's ace. I was at B-Dubs all night, so I couldn't get a great feel for the details, even though I watched most of the game. Shout out to Do Bronx for the big dub. Any idea what Markey's goal saved against expected was? I did not look at that. I did not, and I obviously didn't see any of the UFC, so I guess you spoiled that for me. I probably wasn't going to watch it anyway. Was the fight any good? Justin says, I love how they played tonight. All right. I'm going to catch up here, guys. I'm sorry. I get so far behind because I ramble. All right. Let me get to current times. True Patriot, do you have any insight on Nason return? Absolutely not. I have no insight into the Nason return. I wish I did, but I do not. Dougie over Luke on Power Play 1 any day of the week. Luke is not Power Play 1 ready yet, and tonight it showed. I'm not going to say that he's not ready yet. I'm just going to say I think at this exact moment in time, Dougie is still better equipped to be the Power Play 1 quarterback. But, you know, I don't know that we may never see it. It may be all in on Luke Hughes now. AJ says, just realized the first time I got to watch a Devils win live since 2020, only seen a handful of road games between Tampa, Dallas, and St. Louis. Oh, my God. And they lost all of them? Ted says, Grits has good instincts. Yeah, I like his game a lot. I think he is just – what a treat. What a treat he's been. And I think he's going to get better as the season goes on. It will be interesting to see what they do with him in terms of the lines, but I do think it could be one of those scenarios that if he is in the top six, the bottom six may suffer greatly. And I think the top six will survive without him, regardless of who they put in there. Our core four is pretty damn good. It's unfortunate that we don't have like a fifth guy that's a true top six guy, and maybe that's a piece that comes at the deadline. But Grits has been a very nice addition to this club. John says, I bet we would be 1 for 4 on the power play if Dougie and Timo were on power play 1. I would tend to agree with you. I mean, obviously there's no way to prove that, but you would think that they would score once out of 4 tries. Statistically, you know, I think they were 28 point whatever percent last year. So, you know, 1 out of 4 is 25%. We came in second TF. We won. Huge bright spot as we dominated the first period. That's something we haven't been able to do consistently. Hopefully this will be a turning point. Strong fight. Sorry, Doomers. Maybe next time. True Patriot, 210 in the room. Smash likes for Ace. Appreciate that. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. Samuel, I'd rather see Cotter on the first line. The bottom six would still suffer, but not to the extent of you moved Grits. Now, I've said that before as well. I do think it could be an interesting guy to try there. He had a couple shifts last year at different points, but and I certainly agree that the bottom six would suffer less with Cotter moving up to the top six than Grits. Because, yeah, I think Grits is going to be the type of guy that will create for no matter who he's playing with. And so to that extent, I do agree with you. I don't know if I don't know if Keefe is ever going to give him that opportunity, but I would love to see it. I certainly would love to see it. Walt says, I feel like Keefe doesn't like that physical bullying style that this roster would be capable of if he gave them the green light to do so. Today, you have to have that in you to compete. It could be. I mean, we know he didn't like Curtis McDermott, but if we're also being fair, you know, McDermott outside of the fighting was kind of a liability. You didn't see that with McEwen. And to some extent, Keefe put him in there. I mean, he could have I think he had a couple other guys he could have probably plugged into the lineup, but he went with McEwen. And he looked good. Hokage, good win. However, the final few minutes of the third was scaring me. Love seeing Markey do the 2-pad stack near the end. Yeah, Markey held it down at the end. It was a little bit of a barrage. That 6-on-4, they were coming from everywhere, and guys were just laying down and blocking shots. Markey was all over the place. It was a crazy ending. Brendan, regarding Dodonov, my mom was a former hand therapist that worked with various hand, arm, and wrist-related injuries. She mentioned a fractured hand being between 4 and 6 weeks, depending on the location. Yeah, so that aligns with what the doctor I saw on X said. He said at least 4 weeks. But who knows? I mean, is he going to play before it's fully healed? You know, hockey players are animals. I don't know. There's a chance that he gets it, taped up or does something under his glove, wraps it in some sort of way, and plays before it's fully healed. I think that's a possibility. I have to believe if he could grip a stick properly or close to it, he probably will try to play. Nancy says Don is way better than Bill Spaulding. Stickfigs, I don't get how you could be so jubilant. 2 whole games and Uncle Marky hasn't settled in. Highly tabbed Arseni, only 1 power play goal. Timo finally shows some life. Back to baseball for me. Troy Machine, whether he's scoring or not, Cotter is a menace on the ice, and I love it. Yeah, I love Cots. Love me some Paul Cotter, but like I said, I feel really bad for him. He was probably so excited to play with Gritsuk. He was probably like, yeah. And then Dodonov gets hurt, and they're like, sorry, Grits is out of here. He's probably like, no. And then Connor Brown was like, yeah. And after tonight, Connor Brown, in his post-game interview, was talking about how he really likes playing with Grits. He's probably trying to get Gritsuk cemented on his line. He's probably like, I know you guys were thinking me and Pally were a thing in the preseason. I was kidding. I kid. He's like, the Russian guy. That's my guy. That's my dog. Leave me with him. How about them Devils, Michael? Brian J., what's going on? First one of many. This team never makes it easy. Oh, it's never easy. It's always got to be a kind of heart attack inducing scenario. I obviously felt a lot better after we got the 5th goal because then we were back to a 2-goal lead, but with only the 1-goal lead, I was certainly nervous for a lot of that stretch. Someone just asked. Jason says, I think I need to buy a Grits jersey, red, white, or black. I know it's the last year of the jersey. I would definitely say red or white. That's a personal preference. Noel says, don't have X Instagram. Yeah, follow me on Instagram as well. Another shameless plug. I dropped a link in the chat to that as well. I've been posting some, at least in the stories. I'm trying to get more involved in all these things, guys. And I'm an old man. I don't love all these things, but here I am, right? So here we are. Follow your boy on Instagram. I've been getting a little more involved on there. Morkel says, I always follow the legendary Matt and Chico on NJD Radio /WFAN. Yeah, a lot of times I listen to I'm always locked in on the TV, but for the non-MSG games, I always listen to Matt and Chico post-game for sure. AJ says, yeah, Dougie needs to be on power play 1. Honestly, Luke holding out and missing training camp should be on 3rd pairing. I could see why some would feel that way. I think he'll be ready to do it eventually, but it doesn't have to be today. Power play 2 should be more than sufficient for him. True Patriot, I don't mind Luke on power play 1. Saves Dougie some legs, and if the kid struggles, move Dougie right back. Well, I'm going to say 0 for 4 on the power play constitutes a struggle, True Patriot, in my book. It's not like the end of the world. I'm not freaking out over it, but 0 for 4 with the personnel we have, I'm like, all right, let's see something different now. Tom says, Dougie's size, shot, and experience with his stats should guarantee him power play 1. He should have never lost it by default. This is a meritocracy. Why guarantee it to Luke with no data? It feels like nepotism. I think, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I don't think it's an unfair question necessarily. Well, I would like to see power play 1 to rotate a bit more, sustaining pressure aside. If you could get those lines to swap more often during the power play, you give everyone the reps they need, it would help Luke a lot. I'm not mad at that idea either, right? If you're going to keep the units the same, then maybe, kind of alternate. It does seem, and I could be wrong, it did seem like power play 2 was getting slightly more time than we saw last year. I feel like last year power play 1 was out there for a minute 30 or a minute 40 of every power play, and the second unit got like the cleanup 20 or 30 seconds left, and it was hard often for them ever to get anything going because they came out there with such little time left. True Patriot, getting Covey and Nason back will be a good problem. Yeah, and that's more of the guys that will play that playoff warfare style hockey, 1 on defense and 1 up front. Games like tonight and the last game, you want to have soldiers like that. Daniel Walker says, what's the story with Jeremy Brodeur? Will we possibly see him at some point in the years to come on the big stage? I don't think so. He's a little bit older now. It seems like he will likely be kind of a career AHL or possibly even ECHL, depending. But I don't think you're ever going to see him get a true crack at the big club, especially now with all the other young goalies we have in the system. Most notably at the moment, still Nico Dawes, still in the organization, Jakub Malik and Big Mike Yegorov. Those a mixture of those guys is going to be the future of the net in New Jersey. True Patriot McEwen rang up a 99.2 mile per hour clapper from the point. Okay. Robert, the boys look great in the face-off circle. Love to see it. Nico can't be the only guy holding down the, I guess, face-offs. Yeah. Goaltending. Going to help out in that for sure. Daniel says, Jeremy's 28 already? Damn, I'm getting old. Remember when he was born and Marty put the kid's initials on the back of his helmet? Yeah, you can actually see it in the background right here. Oh, it's opposite. The camera. Right there. That's the back of the back of one of Marty's masks. And there's the J and W for William and Jeremy, the twins. Those exact initials you speak of. Right there where my finger is. Well, I got it opposite way. Right there. J and W. All right, some inappropriate talk in the chat. Walt, having broken hands more than once over the years, it definitely takes at least a month to heal and rehab back to semi-normal. It's tough with a boxer's break, let alone a puck doing the damage. Yeah, I'd imagine hand injuries, not fun. I never broke my hand. But I'd imagine for a hockey player, that's pretty problematic. I mean, you have to be able to grip the stick, shoot. Putz Monkey 182 never was a fan of the jersey. Bring back the Christmas tree retro jersey. No, they need to do another black jersey for sure. I'm done with personally. I really don't want the next alternate to involve green. I just want it to be black. True Patriot tried explaining the 3-goal lead is the worst in hockey to my 14-year-old son and then watched the lead slip and he understood. Yeah, it was some heart attack inducing moments when they cut it to 3-2, but luckily the boys were able to close the show and finish the Lightning off. Jason, no, Dougie's just way more comfortable on the power play. Luke also is horrible with the slingshot pass. Jason, okay, got good old Red Grits jersey. Very nice. Select the Boy says, keep the jersey. Just put the Devils logo in the center instead of the word jersey. Nah, I still wouldn't like it. I don't need all the white stripes that are like copying the Newark Bulldogs or whatever the hell it was. Like, I'm over the whole thing. Scrap the entire thing. Scrap it. John Fay says, speaking of jerseys, what do we think the new jerseys will be after this season and after we are done with the jerseys? That video is going to come out. I'm going to have a video about that maybe next week. I've been kind of thinking about it. Jay Snow, when teams pressure our power play, we seem to struggle. We need to move the puck a lot quicker. True Patriot Ace, they weren't over 4 on the power play only because of Luke. No camp didn't help. These are preseason shifts for him, in my opinion. No, for sure. I'm not saying it's entirely his fault whatsoever. But at some point, when it's clearly not working, you have to be like, okay, well, what can we do differently? And you're not going to put out an entirely new unit. And so you're like, okay, well, let me think. We have all the guys that we had last year when we were the 3rd best power play in the league. Maybe, just maybe, we should try that unit again. Maybe. The guy's still here. Let's try that out. 1 time, 2 times. I think it's a pretty logical correction to the problem that was the power play not doing anything tonight. The 5-star says, Devils fans need to stop calling Kovacevic Covey, only one Covey. Oh, the 5-star. I could not agree with you more. I refuse to call him Covey. He is not Covey. There is only one Covey, Ilya Kovalchuk, and I don't like that he's called Covey by some. It just doesn't feel right. Chris G says Markstrom a concern, but it's early. Also, maybe put Hamilton on the first power play unit for now anyway. You must have just got here, Chris. A bunch of us, we've been talking about this for a while. How I got there here, Jeremy Proper. BU wins the Frozen Four this year. I would love to see my man, head coach Jay Pandolfo and the BU Terriers with Big Mike Yegorov win a national title. Would be phenomenal. Jason says, would like to see a black jersey with the logo, maybe red lettering with white outline on the letters. I mean, Jason, have you never seen the black jersey that we constantly talk about in here, the old school starter? They called him Honda Civic in Montreal. That's pretty funny. G-Flow says black version of the reverse retro 1.0 jersey, maybe with the logo and no circle. That could be interesting. Well, I want them to give the fans a chance to create jersey designs and submit them. I've seen so many fantastic black with Devils logo designs that would look amazing. Why not select the best from a fan? I would not be surprised if, whoever's in charge of this situation may look online to get some inspiration. I mean, I don't see how they wouldn't. Now, in terms of like running a contest, I mean, that would be interesting. I'm all for that kind of stuff. I don't know that they would do it, but they did do it with the warm-up jerseys. And shout out to my man, Backhanded Devil. He designed the greatest logo ever with the state of New Jersey with all the sayings and kind of, New Jersey Devils history bits in it. Knowles, I actually love the Jersey Blacks. 21 stripes for 21 counties in New Jersey, plus what you said. But yeah, I think it should be retired and replaced by the black and reds they wore at MetLife Stadium. The Stadium Series jersey is never coming back, guys. Now, I would love to see the inverse of that. Just make it a black jersey with the red logo with no circle. And maybe some tweaks to the number and letter font. But the Stadium Series jersey, I believe, is out of the question. Tom, no camp. We had number 2 power play, and you reward this guy with power play 1 over the bona fide top power play 1 quarterback. I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. A little frustrating given the results tonight. Davin says, with our depth on the defense, I feel we should try Casey at a different position. He seems a little small, but has the skills and shots to be better on offense. Davin, that's like video game stuff. There's no chance that Seamus Casey plays anything other than defense. True Patriot says, I just don't want to type Kovacevic. I get that too. AJ Visco, jersey, but white with red and black script. The state outline as the J, Devil's tail on the Y with the old red and jersey, but white with red and I don't want anything to do with the jersey. Take that thing and retire the hell out of it. I don't want anything to do with that. The only thing I would accept is I've talked about this. The crest has to be the iconic Devils logo. I would accept the jersey script, like with the main logo. I would accept that as like a shoulder patch or something. But outside of that, I don't need any elements from the jersey to carry over. I'm just not a fan. The Stadium Series jerseys are not coming back, guys. Got to let it go. The inverse of it would be pretty cool. True Patriot Ace, I'm going to BU versus Quinnipiac to check out our future goalie. My oldest is at QU and a massive hockey follower. That's awesome. I'm going to try to see BU live at least once or twice this year. Probably one in Boston. I should probably do that soon. I got to look at all the schedules, the Devils, and which one would make sense. I want to see them at home, and then I think they have some road games that are a little bit closer to me than Boston is. And Quinnipiac actually might be one of them. John Fay, I want to see a jersey that we've never seen before. Spruce it up a bit and think outside the box, but keep it limited to the New Jersey Devils franchise and state. I like that. Snow, send Mercer a first and a a first round pick for Tuck. Their salaries are almost the same. I love Tuck. I would certainly, if Tuck was available, I would certainly explore that heavily. Knowles, the reverse stadium series idea sounds awesome. Jason, get Craig Hagan to design a jersey. I get the hats from his online store. Yeah, I bought a couple things from his store before as well. I don't know what he could do in terms of designing a jersey, but he definitely makes like cool shirts and hats and stuff. Paulie Walnuts, what's going on? Nice to see them scoring 5 versus 5 and production from the bottom 6. These are two areas of the game we usually struggle. Absolutely. These are things to be positive about. Even strength scoring and bottom 6 production. Let's go. This is not last year's New Jersey Devils. This is a new season. Knowles, why so much hate for the jersey, Blacks? Just tired of it. It's just not a great jersey. It's just not. LTOHNJ. Season ticket holders can now buy hot dogs, burgers, and more for $4.99, but make alcoholic beverages cheaper too. I did hear about this. And it's sad to think that like $5 is like an amazing deal. I mean, it's really not in like the world. I mean, but at an arena, it is. Arena prices are crazy. Jay Snow says Brent Burns switched positions. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's super unlikely. And given this scenario, super unlikely. Y'all are soft. I hate Carolina so much. Did you see how they won tonight? I absolutely did not. I was wrapped up in the Devils. Did they get lucky? Jason, if Buffalo is out of it, you have to. Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of teams waiting for other teams to kind of slip out of it to try to raid their roster. Buffalo certainly could be one of them. John Fay, watch them end up fumbling the season after starting off decent. Talking about the Rangers. My man, Tim. What up, Tim? Your internet working out there, Tim? Husky Unchained just got in from work. Let's go, boys. Watch the highlights and didn't see Jack's line at all. You know, maybe Jack's a little bit of a slow starter too. Maybe. He had a couple decent chances. True Patriot, nice to see them come out and score immediately in the third and not wait to get scored on first. Well, a bit of luck because we were shorthanded and they were looking to tie the game on the power play, which had me quite nauseous. And sure enough, a ill-advised pass on the power play was just picked off by Jesper Bratt and taken to the house. Comes in on the breakaway, does a little peek back. Oh, I got plenty of time. Ripper. Vasilevsky was probably like, damn it. He probably had the comeback on in his mind. David, they'll do anything to make money on jerseys. Next one up is a Sopranos-themed third jersey. I don't think we'll see that, but that'd be interesting. It is crazy how long ago Sopranos ended. Things that make you feel old. Jason, $4.99 for a hot dog in arena. Can still get a better hot dog with soda for $1.99 at Costco. Yeah, but you can't compare. You can't compare Costco pricing to arena pricing. Arena food prices are just ridiculous. Tim, boys got angry. TB poked the bear. Need to see that more. Yeah. Early physical response. They were thrust into warfare nearly immediately. Love to see it. Troy Machine says Lego Ricks made a video today. Tuck is requesting a trade and Oilers making a play. Oh, God. I mean, the Oilers are going to probably be doing a whole lot of moves whenever they can for the next, I guess, this season and 2 more when McDavid's there. He signs the super team friendly, leaves all the meat on the bone. Just so much meat. Just overwhelming amounts of meat on the bone for the Oilers, and they're going to make a run. I mean, listen, they're a good team. As long as they have the guys that they have, they're going to be competitive. I'm still a bit surprised they didn't address the goaltending thing, but, who knows? But them getting Tuck, my God. John says, all we could do is hope they play like that from here on out. Snow says, Tim doesn't have electricity. He lives with the Amish. Brandon, we're about 0-20 on the power play since the playoffs. I really hope power plays are a massive focus on the team this season. Yeah, it is again, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but like after you go 0 for 4 on the night, it's like, all right, maybe next game we bring the guy back who was part of the second best power play in the league last year. I think that's a sensible thing. Anything other than that, it seems like you're forcing it to me. M. Sharp, pet the Bobcat on the way into Quinnipiac hockey game. I like seeing games there. You should check it out, Ace. Oh, they have like a live Bobcat that you could pet. By the way, on the random wildlife note, I saw a bear live for the first time in my life outside of a zoo yesterday. I was on a walk and I hear like a lady like let out a screech. It wasn't like a blood curdling like I'm being attacked screech. It was more like a surprised element screech. And I thought maybe someone stole her purse. And I got a little excited. I thought I was going to be able to run somebody down and spear them. But it was a mother black bear and her cub running across a busy street. And it was like maybe 50 yards away. And it all happened so fast. I heard her yell and I looked up and I saw these bears running across the street. It was pretty wild. Where I live in New Jersey, I see plenty of wildlife and animals, but not bears. It was a first. John Fay, the Brat Man on a breakaway is a nightmare for every goalie. Well, I think for most goalies, almost anybody on a breakaway is a nightmare, but seeing the Bratter come on in can't be a good feeling. And he ripped it. Jay Snow says all stadium food is cheeks. At not in every stadium. Tim, don't make me send Big John and his 8 kids after you. Is Big John your neighbor, Tim? Said, Tim, are you going to go live on the stream? Maybe we went earlier. Don't want to stop. Selective boy. Come on, man. Leave the Amish alone. I did catch the end of that story from Tim. I did learn that he lives near the Amish and he has to go like tell his neighbor current events because he doesn't have the internets. So Tim walks over there and he's like his verbal newspaper, I guess. He just relays the messages to him. David, even if guys like Tuck get available, so many teams have cap space. We don't and have lots of trade protected guys in a GM who doesn't work well on the fly. I know I agree with all that, but I do think if he's available, there is a world where you could make it fit cap-wise by trading out salary. And again, I don't want to trade him, but Dougie obviously is a guy. If there's any way you could get rid of Palat, if you potentially entertain a trade with Mercer, that's $4 million. So I do think there's paths to getting Tuck if he's available. Oh, it's not a live Bobcat? I don't know. I thought maybe they had him all doped up or something, or he's like a domesticated Bobcat. What is this? What is a stuffed animal? Roman, I've never seen a bear in person in real life. No. But I mean, I live in a town that, like I said, there's plenty of woods and stuff, but we don't typically see bears. It's like deer and then, all the small little rodents you're used to seeing. Hold up. The Amish play hockey. I see bears a few times a year in North New Jersey. Not where I'm at. They've been, I've seen things of people like posting the ring camera doorbell thing and like a couple other things where they're like in the general area, but I have personally never seen them myself. Brandon, I just think we need some real strategy on our power play. We just try and make an Instagram hockey play. Oh boy. Instagram hockey. I just think we should put Dougie back out there for a little bit. Selected boy. No, I was like 50 yards away. But I wanted to get like a picture or video of it to celebrate the occasion because it was the first time for me. And like by the time I got up there, I was looking like they were gone. They like kind of disappeared. They weren't hanging out. If they were, I would have got dangerously close, I think. Inspired by some lunatic that I saw online where the guy like walked a bear out of a grocery store, like real calm. He had like no reaction to it. I forget what town it was in, but I think it was also in New Jersey. There was a bear in a grocery store and the man was just like talking to it like it was a dog. He's like, come on, buddy, we have to leave now. And I'm like, this guy's nuts. And he just kind of walked the bear out. And then the bear ended up biting a lady outside of the store, I think, and then they killed it. True Patriot, for the love of God, please win a few games in a row this year. Well, we haven't won the elusive 4 in a row since January of 2023. So we're a few months shy of a 3-year anniversary. With that being said, and I meant to say this in my preseason prediction video, but I forgot. I do think we win 4 in a row this year, and I think we will win at least 6 in a row once. I think we have at least one 6-game heater. Stickfigs, speaking of Bratter on the power play, can we rewatch that shift from last year? You know which one. Oh man, let me see if I have it handy, I'll play it. I do have it. Wait, why isn't it working? It's not working. Hold on. Is the file corrupted? Hold on 1 second. I might have it. And I might play that on my bathroom break. What a great call, Stickfigs. Oh. What was the date of that? That was such a great. I'll see if I can find that. AJ says we need Tage Thompson or Jordan Kyrou. I would love both of them. I mean, Tage Thompson is pretty pipe dreamy. But I would love to see it, and I would take Kyrou as well. He has tons of years left at a very good cap hit. I think it's like $8 million. All right, well then this is what I'm gonna do because I gotta use the facilities real quick. I implore you all to watch the shift of the year. I'm gonna put the link. Watch it on your own.
I use agreement.
Oh boy, my eardrums. I'm putting the link in the chat. Watch the shift of the year from last year. And I'll be right back. I can't find the file on my computer, so I can't throw it up in the stream. And it'd be very hard. But I just dropped it in the chat. Watch that real quick, and I'll be right back. I got to use the facilities. But shift of the year from last year. And it all starts courtesy of Jesper Bratt. Link in the chat. Watch that, and I'll be right back. Be right back. Oh, shit. I thought I hit the mic. All right, bear with me 1 second. We had a mountain lion roam through the hood here in Western New York, all over the news. Yeah, typically, I mean, I don't know that it's like newsworthy. I'm rusty, guys. I have to say, I'm a little rusty with my. I got to do like trial runs, I think, during the summer because I get rusty. It was a long time since. I mean, I did the preseason ones, but I some things are sacred. I've explained this before. The audio clips and the certain things, and you can't do it all during the preseason. It's just not. It just doesn't have the same luster. And so it's been a while since I tinkered with a lot of this stuff, and I'm like an infant almost, trying to get my bearings down here as I mess around in this technological world that's built for young people as an old man. And an old man I am. All right. Good night, Justin. Even to do the Amish, ask about hockey scores. They should start making hockey sticks. Well, the current hockey sticks, if you lean on them a little bit, or you do a little chop, a little stick chop, you'll certainly break it. The Amish should make a bionic shoulder for Jack. True patriot, are you boozing? Yeah, I got a little tequila left. Another sip or two, and I'll be done for the night. I had a couple beverages during the game. I severely cut it back from last season levels. It certainly took a toll on my, I guess, mental and physical health, probably, as the team did. John says 163 and 121 likes. Whoever isn't hitting that like button, hit the button for your boys, the New Jersey Devils, in the beautiful first win of the season. Yeah, thanks, John. Hit the button. If you're in here and you're not hitting the button, then you're a hater. And if you're a hater, hello, I salute you too. I'm sure there's a nice, healthy chunk of haters in here probably as well. It comes with the territory, I suppose, for anyone doing anything on the internets. And I bring to you an esteemed guest, fresh from the woods, next to the Amish. Someone asked for it. I forget who. You asked for it, and we deliver. My man and yours, Tim Wood. Tim, how long is the internet going to last before it gets all snowy and stuff?
Well, it's not that. I'll just freeze, and you'll know it.
What's going on, Tim?
If I'm just like
on this fine evening, how are you doing, sir? Oh, he's got the
good,
trash hoodie on. I love it.
I love it. Yeah. Hey, you like this? That's funny.
I like the Trashers hoodie. Rupper had one on last night on NHL Network. I don't know.
Well, that was after I was done with college. I went to this league, the UHL, for a couple of tryout camps, and it was right during the 2003 lockout. So like I was going to these trial camps, a bunch of NHL guys were coming down, and I was like, I'm going to die out here. I should probably not do this.
Was it for a specific team or like the league?
No, this team in the Adirondacks. It's like the league is like defunct, and like the team that I like was trying out for, like they had like recruited like 4 of us from my school.
That's pretty cool though.
Like everybody I was playing against was like just like an absolute meat stick, and 6'3", 240, and I'm like 5'10" on a good day. Like during the summer when my bones expand, I'm like right there. I stand on my tippy toes at like my my physicals. So I was like, I'm gonna get murdered out here. I should probably not do this. But I was gonna get cut anyway. So that's what I tell myself.
Did you watch the documentary on Netflix?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's right. Yeah, that's why I got this. It's amazing.
It's just such a great like the story is just, and it was so long ago. It was like early internet, so I remember like see rumblings and like clips, but it's not like today where you could see everything. And then I remember when Rupp went there during the lockout, I'm like, dude, this is crazy. And then to see the documentary all the years later with like the behind stories, and then you see Rupper talk about it, and what was that guy's name? One-Eyed Willie. Like What a legendary. For those who have no idea what we're talking about right now, by the way, we're talking about a documentary made about the Danbury Trashers, the team that Tim has a hoodie on of right now. If you haven't seen it, I don't remember what it's called, but it's on Netflix.
It's the untold story. Yeah. So
If
like
you haven't seen it, go watch it. It is
it's an incredible watch. So if you don't know the story, the guy that owned the team was basically the inspiration for Tony Soprano and had like a signed picture in his office. It was like to Jimmy from, the real, to the real Tony Soprano. It's an incredible documentary. Like just everything that happens in it. You're just like, I cannot believe this is a real thing that happened. Like the bald guy, he's like putting salmon in like the ventilators and stuff and giving the guys like one tiny little towel. He would cut off. He would like cut off the end of the bench. So like guys had to stand on the bench. It's just like real psycho type of stuff.
When I was younger, I always wanted to get into waste management. What are your kind of, I guess, takeaways twofold? One, I guess, of the team on the season, given the first terrible game, and then kind of what you thought were the main kind of takeaways, things to be excited or worried about after tonight's performance in Tampa.
It's this long season. The first game, I thought the first 10 minutes were awful, and the last 10 minutes were awful. The middle 40, we kind of went blow for blow for them, but like we were playing catch up that whole time, so it wasn't great. And I just whatever it is about Carolina and that building, it was just a tough way to start the season. I'm glad that they came back. Tampa was another measuring stick. We've all talked about the beginning of this season, how it's kind of a rough ride, and just to get this win out of the way and in the fashion that they did it, like. One of our biggest bugaboos was, getting out to leads and starting strong. And they did that. That was huge. But Tampa's a good team. They're gonna fight back. They're not just gonna lay down for you. And they clawed back in the second. I thought Brat's goal, like that, I feel like that is gonna be a real kind of defining moment of this early part of the season. Like that 5-minute penalty kill against Nashville last season, how that was like one of the moments that defined the early part of the season. It's just kind of that was the, are you gonna focus or are you gonna fold moment? And they focused, and it was just an absolutely electric moment. So I'm encouraged. I think this lineup that we iced against Tampa feels like a better lineup than what we did against Carolina. And you and I were texting about this about McEwen. About McEwen, send Dodonna back to Soviet Russia, send him back to the motherland. Whatever. One game. Good to see you, pal.
Yeah. Sorry, it didn't work out.
No, it's just like within a team, when you're building a team, you try and kind of construct things and build out, how each line's kind of going to look. You always have a plan going in. And I felt like all of the wings that we had, while we have good depth, the wings and the guys that we have kind of created a little bit of misslotting with some of the wings. And this just felt like a better lineup. But, it's probably because they won in such emphatic fashion. We could throw out this same lineup, against Columbus, and McEwen could be -4, and get beaten up twice by Delorier. So, who knows? But it's early in the season. I'm encouraged. I'm glad you're feeling better. All you psychos in the comment section, I was listening to this. Leave. Ace was about to crack. You guys are mean. You got to relax. It's a long season.
It was rough, man. It was rough sledding.
It was really, really tough sledding, man. It was a tough listen. You guys got to be nicer to Ace.
It wasn't like I was like, all right, there'll be like 5 or 10. It was like wave after wave. The usual suspects, people that I thought were level-headed, people I've never seen before. It was just a shooting gallery of the known culprits, randoms I never heard. It's just nonstop. And people are like, "Oh, don't read the Doomers comments." I'm like, all of the comments are Doomers.
Everyone is a Doomer comment.
Nothing but Doomer comments. If I did, I'd be sitting here pulling up nothing. Literally, it was just rapid fire dooming. I think most of those people, coincidentally, were either noticeably absent or quiet on the evening. But
I feel like that happens a lot when there are people that come out of the woodwork to crap all over the team and crap all over players and crap all over like individual play when bad things happen, and then they don't say anything when good things happen.
Yeah.
And that is a pretty I imagine that happens a lot across a lot of fan bases, but it's on Twitter that happens. It's all over the Facebook groups. People have got to really take into context. Like we watch the Devils day in and day out, so we're very close to this team. But if you take in the context of the rest of the league, no other team is perfect. Other teams need top wings. Other teams need 2 and 3 Cs. Other teams have needs. Other teams have terrible goaltending. Carolina barely beat Philadelphia tonight. So, pardon my French, shit happens. So we just got to roll with the punches. And this is a good team we have here. I'm not worried.
Yeah, I think I've said for a while now, regardless of the holes that, the 3C and the top 6 winger that everyone keeps talking about, in the end, there's a large percentage of the league, I think, both the fan base and the GMs of those teams would be like, I would gladly trade my roster for yours. Like,
yeah,
with the guys that we have.
We can, you can, want this guy and want that guy, but there are real realities about how this team is built and who we have and what we can and can't do. I'm not exactly a Fitz guy, but I do. He's not, sleeping on the job. Like he's working the phones. He's doing things.
Wait, what? He's not sleeping on what? I guess you're talking about the summer months. I guess.
Yeah, like I mean. He wasn't in Cape Cod watching the summer baseball league, all summer. I don't know. I heard an interview with him it was with on Ryan Novozinski's new show. He interviewed Dan McKinnon, and Dan said he Fitz did a trade when he was like at a concert at Fenway Park or something like that. So the guy's always on his phone doing stuff. Like he was trying to get Jared McCann this summer, who would be a great ad. So something will happen.
Dan McKinnon revealed that?
Dan McKinnon did, yeah, on Novo's show. It was funny because Novo had like one 20-minute interview with Dan McKinnon, and it like answered like a dozen questions that I had about what happened this summer and what's going on basically within the Devils front office. It's actually a really good interview.
No, I'll have to check that out. That sounds. So did he duck anything?
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, he gave some kind of GM speak answers to some things, but he definitely
naming a player. We haven't when we have. I don't know the last time we heard that, right? That it was always vagaries like, oh, my target or the thing to like name a guy that you tried to get. I mean, while it doesn't, if you didn't get him, then like who cares? But I at least and this might be like kind of childish or juvenile, but when you hear like a specific guy like that, that's a guy that a lot of us did want. You're like, all right, well, we didn't get him, but it slightly makes me feel a little bit better that we at least tried. And
yeah, I get it, but the thing was that Seattle shot it down. Not it wasn't the price was too much or something like that. I'm at the point where it's like like you always say, like win now. We're in win now mode.
It should 100%.
I do not give a crap about like the 26th draft, like that 26th first overall pick.
Trade them all, baby.
Trade it all. If we have that pick, something has gone wrong. I do also think there is something to be said for if a team deserves to get that big name player. Like in 22-23, when we were nasty, he went out and he got Tebow. Year after, we didn't deserve like anything.
I think we deserved a goalie though.
Yeah, but like it's
you got Allen and Kapanen on deadline day. That was the indefensible season to me. Like this team could score goals. We're giving up goals, but like just go get to say that there was no goal. Like I just can't believe that there was no goalies whatsoever available. And then we get 2 on deadline day, and then they had the whole thing. Oh, Jake Allen didn't want to come here, this and that. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not buying any of that whatsoever.
I'm with you on that.
Anyone.
I'm with you on that. But it's like I don't know if I don't know if Prime Brodeur could have come in and done much better with the defense that we had in front of him. Like that was part of the problem. Like, I mean, Vanacek sucked, but like, he wasn't exactly, giving up floaters from the red line. It was, second, third rebounds, whatever. Who gives a crap? Like it's 2 years ago. Let's move forward. I guess my only concern right now with this team is Markstrom. He's looked a little leaky. Tonight he pulled it out. He's flopping around like a fish at the end there. That was a little concerning. But the second and third goal he gave up, I don't know. He does this thing where he to like look around a screen, he almost slides almost completely out of the way and gives up a huge part of the net. I don't know why he does that.
There was one other sequence. Was that at the end where he was just like down and out? There was one where he was there was one where he was in horrible. I don't know if it's the same one you're talking about. There was one where he was. I didn't bring this up earlier. Yeah, he went down, and I think I don't know if someone dumped it behind or whatever it was. He was like so out of position. It was like the whole net was wide open. He
was like spinning around. He was on his back at one point.
Completely.
It's like, man, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I thought I wanted you to answer someone's question, but now I'm looking for. Do you think they get the 4-game win streak this year?
Yeah, I think so. Starts now. This is game 1 of the 4-game win streak.
Sticky says, "Welcome to Running with the Devils, Tim. Time to get sauced." Okay, so yeah, Untold Crime and Penalties. Yeah, so for anyone who didn't see it, look that up on Netflix. It is a phenomenal watch. And then if you're totally new to it, you'll probably have a whole bunch of questions and things that you want to look at online. And some of the footage is just, it's absolutely unbelievable stuff that it seems like more of like a Hollywood movie versus reality. But this was very much reality.
Yeah. And what's amazing is like all the home footage that they had access to and actually interviewing this guy, Jimmy, like who was a straight up gangster. Like, this guy's killed people and he's being interviewed on a Netflix documentary. And some of the guys that were like worked for him absolutely killed people for Jimmy. It's an unbelievable documentary. It's so funny.
Someone asked, I can't find it now. Someone said, damn it, man. I want something about the Hughes brothers. It was like, what's your assessment of the Hughes brothers?
Luke's on pace for 164 points.
That's what I'm saying.
And I mean, I think they're some of the most talented players we've ever had on our team. Jack is small. Hope he can stay healthy. The 2 injuries have been concerning.
Oh, there it is. What are your thoughts on the Hughes brothers' performances so far?
I think Luke's been very good. He was actually pretty physical in the Carolina game. Like he buried a couple of guys. Like I remember one. It was in the on the TV screen, the far left corner. He just absolutely buried some dude in the corner. But that pass that he made to Glass is just, that's the type of thing that this team didn't do last year. Like all of our transitions were so slow.
The pass to Glass was so sick. It banked off the sideboards, right? And he just like grabbed it, looked up, right up the middle.
Right up the ice. He did the same thing to Gritsuk tonight and on he got the second assist on Brown's first goal. Saw Gritsuk streaking up the wing, hit him immediately. Like, we need our defensemen to be more decisive, but I think having faster, better forwards that can actually handle passes is going to go a long way. Like, I think a lot of the problem was the speed that we had with our forward group, regrouping like through the neutral zone. They're so slow that it just like, watching Nate Bastian do a huge circle in the neutral zone, like that guy sucked. But it just the defense.
Remember though.
Yes, of course. Yes, he had his moments. Like he had like 9 goals like his entire like Devils career, and 5 of them were against the Flyers or something weird like that.
That's a stat.
Yeah, it's something like that. I don't quote me.
But
I think like the transition. So and I think we just needed to play faster as a team, move the puck up quicker as a team, and that's both the defensemen being more decisive, passing the puck up, and the forwards being faster through their routes in the neutral zone and breakouts. The breaking out of the zone against Carolina was a nightmare. Like those guys are just a nightmare. Like what they do is they're so good and so quick at getting on top of you, forechecking. And it's 2 things. So like they have good team speed, so they get on top of you forechecking, but they play like I swear to God, I think Brindamore does one-on-one like board battle sessions with each of these guys because they're all just exactly like him. They just like are just board menaces, one-on-one puck battle menaces. And, you know, you saw it happen on, I know I totally derailed from the Hughes brothers question. I'll get back to that in a second.
No, that's fine.
But Nico won the draw cleanly back to Siegenthaler. Siegenthaler has no business losing a puck battle on a one face-off in the D zone. So this happened against Carolina, won it back to Siegenthaler. Siegenthaler loses that battle. And what Carolina does is they then cycle the puck from low to high back up to the point, and then it's a point shot. And then they do it all over again. And the trick against Carolina is you got to break that cycle and then get through that first layer of forecheck. So we had some success in the playoffs in the one game that we won using that high flip, like where, you know, Pesci or whoever was still alive in our decor could high flip it out over everybody. But to get back to the Hughes brothers, yeah, I think, you know, Luke doesn't look like he lost a step or missed a step at all from missing camp. I think, you know, the general consensus is that he might not be worth that $9 million in his first year, but the contract will age well. I tend to agree with that, and based on his early start, it may actually age pretty well this season. Yeah, I mean, if they score one power play goal, he's likely to get an assist on it, so he could have 6-7 points already. Jack's incredible. Like, he and Brat do so many like amazing things. It's just they're very hard to play with. And that's why I think, you know, Palat gets so much shit from our fan base is that Brat and Jack do so much intricate passing plays and skating plays. And then it's just so hard to play with that as a complementary player. So finding that right third piece is important. But like, you know, with Jack, like, you want the puck on his stick all the time. Like, he's going to do incredible things, but he is also going to turn the puck over. Like, that's going to happen. I'd rather have the puck on Jack's stick than Cody Glass's stick or Connor Brown's stick, you know, or someone else's stick. I'd rather have it on Jack's stick. What I hate that he does, and this is a problem that he has that he's got to fix, is, and it happened against Carolina in the empty netter. When we have the 6-on-5, this happened 5 or 6 times where he tries to, he just tries to float these like backhand passes when right at the offensive blue line that just always get intercepted. It happens all the time, and he still hasn't fixed his problem. And we've lost a couple of games because of those, not because of those, like resulting from that play. So
no, but
he's got to clean that up. But
snuff out a comeback attempt several times with that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but it happens, you know. Like, guess who gave up? Guess who tried to pass the puck D to D on Jesper Brad's shorthanded goal?
Who was it?
That was Nikita Kucherov.
You know, and I was telling everybody who was killing Jack after the game, I said, listen, in the end, when you look at like giveaways and everything, the top of the list is always star players who have the puck on their stick a lot and are great players. Like, it's just kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah, I mean, it's Pasa, it's Draisaitl, it's Quinn, it's McCarr, it's
I would like
Kucherov.
to see some of that decision making get a little bit better, especially situationally, like down a goal, to just float it like that. Like, maybe you know, do something else there. Yeah, I agree. You know, dump it in. You know, I mean, you have an extra guy, you can win that battle. I hate to do this to this man because it just came up, but we were talking about Bastion, and unfortunately, the one in the chat. The one thing that'll be forever burned in my brain is this. This photo is just for the season. Honestly, when people ask about the 23-24 season, this is going to be the one that's like always in my brain. Like, this was just like, what is wrong with this team? And then, you know, the beginning of pretty much the Rempe saga, but this one will forever be burned in my brain. And I don't have the other one from last year, but the Lamborghini beatdown was just so sad. Like, it was so sad. God, dude, how many unanswered shots? If it was a boxing match, or UFC, it would have been stopped like a third of the way through. He was just like pinned against pinned against the glass. What just frustrates me about that is Bastion's 6'4", and Lomberg's 5'9", and you got absolutely bullied by Lomberg. And then when he 2 games after he came right back, he got absolutely annihilated
coming into the zone by someone. I forgot who it was, but it's just like I've never seen a guy his size just get blown up as much as he did. Like he was supposed to be like this kind of tougher fourth line guy, and he just got absolutely annihilated so often.
Well, hopefully our boy McEwen is that guy.
Yeah, I liked McEwen.
Tell us about it.
Tell us about it.
Tell us about McEwen. What give me your McEwen?
I mean, I didn't really notice him, and then he had one zone exit during the game where he just blew through the zone and out, and I was like, who's this guy? Who's number 15? I was like, I don't remember that on the roster.
It was a couple of times. Like, this guy can move.
Because like he can actually skate.
Yeah.
Loved, you know, I mean, I wasn't really a McDermott guy, but I understand his value. But it's like having a guy that can actually fight. Yeah, no, I won't bring it up. Having a guy that can actually fight and skate and play. He had a good opportunity in front where he got robbed by Vasi. He was winning puck battles. He was on top of the forecheck. Like he can actually skate. Like I was a little concerned when Dadonov went down, and now, like we said before, it's like, you know, Dadonov who?
What do you think is going to happen when Nason comes back?
I don't know. I wrote a blog about this at All About the Jersey. I think there are a few things. These things tend to work themselves out. You know, the Devils haven't exactly been a beacon of health.
Look at Tim. I gotta read this. I'm don't be offended. I don't read too much. I just put the article Tim's talking about. I put the link in the chat. I was in school. I was back then it was Spark Notes, Cliff Notes, and there was something called like Pink Monkey or something. And like I remember when like the Studious kids were like asking like at lunch, and I don't even know how they approached me and thought there was any chance. They're like, "Oh, what did you think about the chapter?" And I looked at them, I'm like, "The chapter." I was like, the chapter. And I was like, and I had it printed out. I would print these notes out in the computer lab, like in the library, and print it out. I'm like, well, all I can tell you about the chapter is what I got here. But so for me, I'm more of a video guy.
You skated by on your good looks.
No, I just skated by with reading the note summaries and saying a prayer. Wasn't reading the books, but I'm gonna try to start reading more. Oh, you got pictures. Oh, Tim's got everything on here. Give us the dumbed down the video version.
Yeah, all right. So basically there are four. I don't know, like so many different things can happen. A lot of it's contingent on injuries, and frankly, the Devils haven't exactly been a beacon of health. So there's that. So these things tend to work themselves out. The other kind of side issue is we don't know how long he's going to be out. Is it a week? Is it a month? Is it 2 months? We don't know, because like the CIA controls like the NHL injury communication. So it's like, we'll never know until he just pops up one day.
Is every team as bad as the Devils are with that?
It's really weird. Some teams just tell you exactly what it is. Yeah. And some teams, they just don't tell you at all. And it's different player to player and injury to injury. Like, I remember Timo had a medium body injury. It's like, it's like he's like a nice cup of coffee on the porch or something like that. Nice medium bodied lager. So there are two guys that I think are on somewhat short leashes. I think Mercer's on a somewhat short leash on that first line with Nico and Timo and the first power play. So I think he would be the obvious first replacement, and that was where Nason was all last year, and that line was pretty successful. Second guy on a short leash is Palat, for obvious reasons. We'll see how that works out. He's looked a lot better the first two games than he did all of last year. So we'll see how that works out. But he clearly just isn't a good fit with Jack and Brad. We're still going to be continuing to look for that good fit. The problem though is if you bump one of those guys down, then what happens down the lineup? So what if you move Mercer? What do? Do you move him to 3C and move Glass to 4C? Like, what if this Glass and Brown seem to be a good combination, and now Gritsuk with Dadonov out, that seems like a good line. So what do? Do you move Mercer to the fourth line? Do you move him to 4C and bump Glendening out? Like, Glendenning's been great in the dot. I feel like he's been solid. So there's kind of like where you put Nason in, and then what happens to the guy after that. Same with Palat. It's like, what do? Do you move him down, and then what do? Do you move Grits
Yeah,
it
I'm
down
more curious.
again.
I mean, I think there's millions of possibilities of
Yeah.
the line combos, but I'm just thinking like, who's the guy getting pushed out? Like, yeah, the guys are going to go down. Some might get pushed, but who's going to be? Let's just say, in the case of the game one roster, right, where the Donov is still in, McEwen's not a thing yet. Because I do think, is there a chance? Is there any possibility that Nason comes back in the next 2 weeks?
I don't think so. I think it's month minimum. I think we're looking at November.
Donov, it seems like from doctors and someone else in here too, like with that thing, it seems like 4 to 6 week kind of thing. They initially tried to play it off like, oh, he might miss a couple games. Like he might be out 4 to 6 weeks. So this whole thing with Nason might not be a problem for a little bit.
I mean, they could both be coming back at the same time.
Right.
It's
so if one guy, aside from McEwen's obviously always going to be the first guy out, but after him, who is the guy? Like, who do you take out? And it would
the other things I was thinking is like, are you going to have, because Gritzuk's been playing great, but this is still his first season in the NHL, and the NHL schedule is far more compacted than the KHL schedule is, and they're like maybe 20, 30 more games. I think the KHL schedule is like 60 something games, so he could burn out. If you want to keep him fresh, you bump Nason in. Cotter, his big thing has always been consistency, so if he needs a couple games in the press box, so I could see like kind of like a wing rotation of like 7 guys, like you have, Palat and Cotter and Nason and Gritzuk and Dadonov and just everyone kind of rotating in and out. And, I know Fitz got flamed for his creating competition comment at the deadline last year, but that's again, what they're doing is creating competition. Or we are going to have to eventually figure something out if Kovacevic does come back salary cap wise, and who's moving out. And that could be Mercer. That could be Palat. Those would be the 2 guys I think I always look to. Like, I don't think we'd be moving any defensemen out. I don't think we're moving Dougie out anytime soon. I feel like that, if it happens, is an off-season move.
Well, forget the salary of that. Who's coming out of the lineup for Kovacevic to come in?
That's what I mean. It's like I think we need to move on and move someone out. And I think, honestly, if I were to rank people, I think it would be Mercer first and Palat second.
No. I get what you're saying. You're talking about for cap reasons. But I'm saying when Kovacevic comes back, what defenseman is coming out of the lineup?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
I hate to say it. I said it earlier because someone asked. They said, I don't know when this was. It was a while ago in the chat tonight. And they said, who do you think gets dealt first, Casey or Nemitz? Is it possible that they deal Nemitz this year with a pending payday coming, occupying the spot that they're set on giving back to Kovacevic? Like, is he going to be the guy? Is he going to be the guy that's cashed in to create the spot for Kovacevic and bring somebody back the other way? It seems like it could be the most logical one right now.
It could be the most. I mean, it seems like the most logical, but I think what I hope happens. Well, I don't know when Kovacevic is coming back. Like I feel like that could be. They said not till the new year,
which February.
I think after the Olympics, earlier.
The Olympics.
Yeah, and God knows what he's going to look like coming back from an ACL injury.
Oof.
Like I assume it's ACL. We don't even know what it was. Again, back to like the CIA.
Lower body, baby. Lower body.
Yeah, lower body.
Lower body.
A medium lower-ish head, hand, foot,
yeah,
knees and toes. So I don't know. We have an excess of guys. Ideally, Nemec shows that he belongs and is excellent. And then that makes it easier to move Dougie. Also, hopefully, Dougie is having a great season because that makes his value go up for someone that would maybe want him at the deadline to plug in. Like if Dallas can plug Dougie in to their lineup, that works. My biggest issue was
Dougie at the deadline.
Yeah, I think so.
Heart,
if it's a lot of it's contingent on how Nemec is playing, or they could just like Kovacevic originally was a 7th D. Like he was supposed to be our 7th D with Nemec playing. If Nemec keeps that spot, then maybe Kovacevic just becomes a 7th D and gets rotated in.
I originally was like, well, you know what? I thought the same thing, right? It's like we stole him for nothing. He came here. He kind of stole the spot during the injury from Nemitz, essentially. and then got the deal, and then people were knocking the deal, which I'll never knock the deal. Him at $4 million is a solid, like, especially with the cap going up. I think super value, assuming he comes back healthy. This was obviously before he got hurt, but I forget where it was, but I saw something. It may have been a Fitz interview, and it was in the past couple days where, like, I forget exactly what it was, and maybe someone in the chat knows, but it was pretty much directly like Kovacevic is part of this team and will be in the lineup kind of thing.
All right. I missed that. But I don't know. I think a lot of it is play dependent. I imagine the management has, a lot of if then type of scenarios worked out. I really don't know. We have an embarrassment of riches on the right side. But again, also these things do work themselves out. Like Pesce took a shot in the fucking spine. Pardon my French. Pesce took a shot in the spine against Carolina, and I thought he was dead for a second. Like
I thought he was definitely leaving the game. I was like, unbelievable.
I thought so too.
Then when he got up and was at the bench, I'm like, oh, he's gonna live. He's gonna live. It looked real bad at first,
man. Like so much incidental stuff happens to him. Like he got hit in the face with a puck today, like the side of the net. It's like, buddy, you could be okay. Like you should stop. You should stop doing that. But he just throws himself in front of shots. That was a huge thing tonight too. I think we had 24 block shots. Like they were just getting in front of everything. And at the end, they were really selling out. I love seeing that.
21.
21. It was 24 earlier. Lame.
Where do you look?
That's from the NHL site. It said 24 earlier.
Yeah, so this thing I have come to realize, and that's why I try to grab this like right before I go on, because it like always changes. Tons of stuff change. Like shots change. I mean, most of I guess like these bottom ones are the ones, below penalty minutes are all kind of like subjective, I guess, whoever's scoring it, or I don't know where the discrepancies come from, but they change regularly.
The giveaways and takeaways, I don't really put too much stock into those numbers.
Neither do I. But block shots and hits, love to see those.
Yeah, block shots, hits, face-offs, shots on goal, man. Like they got like 3 of those 17 shots like in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, Markey had at least 2 big saves in that sequence, right? And then people were just laying out.
Yeah, and it's Markey giveth and Markey taketh away. It's like against Carolina, like that Keandre Miller third goal, which made it 3-2. That slap shot from above the circle that hit his arm and just trickled in.
Knuckler.
Yeah, it's not the knuckler. Yeah, well, the knuckler, I was like, oh man, but I think that. And if you ask any goalie, they'll tell you like weird bouncing pucks where you're screened, like that is actually a pretty hard shot to save. But it's the where he had a clean lane, Keandre Miller slap shot that hit his arm and then rolled in behind him that made it 3-2. It's like you're a professional NHL goalie, like you should be stopping that. Markey has really bad. He has a really bad glove hand. Like he doesn't catch much. Like he'll make like 2 outrageous glove saves, and then the rest of the game it'll just hit his glove and like bounce out. So I don't know, but yeah, like he kind of lost us that game while he was winning us that game against Carolina. Like it would have been a lot worse if it wasn't for him in that first period.
Oh yeah, that's why I told the people that were crapping on him after the game. I was like, buddy, like that game could have been 4-0 in a hurry.
Yeah.
We were under siege. There it goes. The Timbo freeze, baby.
I froze.
The Timbo freeze.
The Amish gremlins got me. I think that's my cue. I gotta go to bed.
Oh man, good talking to you, Tim. Guys, check out Tim's blog. The articles on All About the Jersey. I put the one. I'm sure. How many you got? A lot on here, huh?
Yeah, I got a few. I just right before I jumped on, I posted just a game recap from tonight. There are 6 or 7 writers that do some good work. I think we're one of the better blogs out there. We don't write, 6-page click through AI driven crap. We're like real people that know what we're talking about. So it's a good blog. And there's also a pretty active community of commenters that are kind of psychopaths like you guys. So
I was about to say, is there any place where there's like sane comments?
No, probably not.
There is. I haven't come across it, but I just dropped the link to Tim's article specifically. But then obviously you could click around on that site.
Yeah, I wrote a blog about earlier in the summer about why Dougie Hamilton is important to keep, and it's kind of that a lot of the conversation we just had about Kovacevic's injury and what do we do with Nemec and making sure that he's capable. I wrote about our scoring last year and what kind of needs to happen to get better as a 5-on-5 scoring and who needs to score what and where and how. Then I've written some other nonsense. I know it's kind of hard to come up with things to write when there's absolutely nothing happening.
The deadest summer of all time.
Yeah. And then, my latest real blog besides the recaps are I wrote a blog called The Nascent Question. And also come check us out at the Uncle Puckers. We try and record pretty frequently, and we do live shows. We try not to step on Ace's toes because I know half our commenters come from you guys, but we have a good comment section.
Everyone watches. A lot of these guys, I told you, these guys, these true junkies, they watch everything.
Junkies. I know. I see him. Jay Snow and Dubs, and I see all those guys. It's great. Husky Unchained, Classic Records. I see them all.
Collect records.
Let's migrate some other psychos over to our group. We're a little filthier. Ace told me not to curse. So I think I was a good boy, but if you look at the shadow behind me, you can understand some of the jokes that we make.
Yeah, I got to keep it somewhat clean for the kids, bro. You know, I got kids. Yeah. I got kids that I know watch, kids that I don't know watch. I feel bad.
Oh, sorry. Well, I apologize to them for teaching them some new words and new things that I hope they didn't Google search.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, check Tim's blog articles out. I put the link in the description. Check them out on Uncle Puckers. You guys are on YouTube and what else?
Yeah, we're YouTube, Spotify, Apple. We're podcast form. We just started. We were primarily a podcast, but we just started doing the live shows. I think Chris, the main host, I think he's addicted to the live shows now. He loves it. So it's a lot of fun.
The interaction. I mean, no,
the interaction,
for me,
yeah.
I think also was Chris doing the editing when you recorded them?
Yeah, I think some of it. Well, we don't really edit. We just kind of throw them up uncut.
Oh, so then all right. I was gonna say if he was editing them, even doing any even minimal just to whatever he was doing, there's still extra steps even if you do no editing versus just letting it rip live. So I do like that. What I don't like about the lives for me personally is that the video quality, because I'm just a snob with certain stuff. The video quality is not this. It doesn't support the same as if I record it. But obviously,
Mr. Club Seats is a snob. Weird.
Yo, easy on my name, Tim. Listen to me. The Gen Pop is not for me, bro. I'm sorry. Listen, I can't feel bad about that. I worked hard for many years. I don't really have much of a social life. Listen, I don't do a lot of things. I don't have children, and so
your children are behind you.
My children are behind me, exactly. And I have my nephews that I love like my kids and buy them all kinds of shit. But outside of that, they're not my real kids. And so, you could be the uncle that spoils them with the other things because I'm not buying diapers and shit. I'm buying, stuff at 7-Eleven and video games and jerseys, whatever. But
so if you're walking around the concourse and someone bumps into you, do you just throw your shirt away or what do you do?
What do you mean if they bump into me?
If you touch a normal person, are you ugh, gross?
Oh, you're so funny. Listen. It's more of it's not that because I'll go do on this topic I'm not
it's the lines and the crowds and the
correct.
It's for nonsense.
Convenience and when you analyze the whole thing, okay, if I'm gonna eat anything at this game, it's gonna suck and cost a lot of money, and even with minimal consumption of food, if I'm buying a la carte, in the end, it's gonna be very close to what it would be.
Yeah, no,
so I'm I'll just take my lumps up front and have an unlimited amount of mediocre arena food and not have to wait for it and not have to wait to go to the bathroom. And so after I look at the whole thing as an adult, that's the one thing that listen.
And you're also not stepping in, a public bathroom, some disgusting slob's piss who's in there before.
No, it's bad, man. I know. And I hate to, and a lot of people attack me for that, but I'm listen, man, once you do them both, it's not that I'm against it or I can't do it, but doing it for the first time during the preseason was a harsh reminder of why I instituted that policy to begin with. And I
Well,
was
I'll
like,
tell-
yeah.
So I through my old job, I got a lot of free tickets to things, and particularly like sporting events. But they're pretty often they're like suite tickets because a lot of the vendors that I would work with were had suites at various events. A lot of them were at Madison Square Garden because when I lived in New York. So every time I bring my kids to games, we'd be in suites. And one time we went to the U.S. Open, and we got I got like tickets from someone to the U.S. Open tennis, and we sat down in like regular seats, and my kid looks at me. She's like, "We're not in our own little room. Like we don't have our own room."
Where are
I
the
was like,
chicken tenders?
Yeah, like she was like 9 years old at the time, and I was just like, "Oh man." I was like, I have really led them astray that they think that that's
you
normal.
spoiled them young, man.
Yeah.
You spoiled them young.
Yeah.
And even my nephew, he's only been to like a handful of games, but I think maybe all but one were in some sort of suite. And he's like, "Oh, we don't have like all the tickets with all the food." I'm like, "No, not tonight, bud." Because he, the first couple times for kids, especially, like my brother's a little bit stricter now with like the junk food stuff. Like they obviously have snacks and stuff, but like they try to be like, "Oh, you're giving them all this shit." I'm like, "Oh, whatever." But like when they go to the game, obviously it's just, they see in the one lounge, there's like buckets of M&Ms and there's cookies and there's Starburst. Like after the kid was deprived by my brother for so long and he's eating like these, organic, whatever snacks from Whole Foods. And then he gets into a place where there's fountain sodas and sugar galore. He was like in his glory.
Yeah, and you trust the kid. You're like, "You can eat that, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course." You're like, "Daddy."
I don't even ask anymore.
That's what being a cool uncle's for, though.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, "Listen, man. Like, I'm gonna keep your kid alive. Nothing bad's gonna happen to him, and you just have to know that more times than not, he's gonna dabble with some sort of sugary junk food when he's with me. That's just
I'm taking him off your hands for 4 hours. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you later.
Yeah, exactly. You would think. You would think that there'd be a least resistance. I get a lot of resistance sometimes, but he's been he sent me his picture with his Jack Hughes jersey on that I got him
nice
during the game. He's been itching to try to go back, so I have to try to
get back. Are you going to the home opener?
Yeah, I'll be at the opener for sure.
Nice. Our guy Bobby's coming in from Pennsylvania with his kids, so see if you guys can meet up or something like that.
He's going from PA.
Yeah, he was funny. He's telling a story. He's like got a hotel and like he's like I'm gonna have to take out a second mortgage. He's like, I got a hotel in like downtown Newark and it's like $400 a night or something.
Oh, dude, why would he even get that then? There's places, there's tons of places that are they really that much?
It's just I think the ease of just being able to like leave your car somewhere for like a couple days and just walk from a hotel to the rink is that kind of convenience. I don't know. You pay for the convenience, right?
Yeah, well, I'd pay for the convenience to stay in somewhere. I mean, was he going to chill in Newark all day? There's not much else to do around those parts. Well, I guess for that day there'll be
Fan
fest.
Well, there's a fan fest, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Never.
All right. Enjoy your night, man. Thank you as always for having me on.
Awesome, guys. Check out Tim's articles on All About the Jersey. Link in the chat. Check him out on Uncle Pucker's, where he curses like a drunken sailor.
And some of you guys, like David Chimes, I know you from Facebook groups. David actually writes some good recaps.
I saw one of his the other day. He actually said something along the lines of, I believe when he dropped the link, it was in a comment. He was like, yeah, something about the article. And he's like, it's not Tim Wood level analysis, but I thought it was pretty thorough. And I thought that was pretty funny.
No, he does. I do steal some of his stuff and put it into my stuff. So
you thief.
But it's good.
You damn thief.
Oh, I don't have any original ideas. I'm an idiot. That's why I came in. That's why I came in second to last in the New Jersey State Spelling Bee, 1992.
Second to last, huh?
Second to last. I did make it there, but I came in second to last.
I mean, it's better to get to the dance than never making it.
Yeah. All right, boss. All good to see you.
Man. Good talking to you, Tim. Have a good one. Take care.
See ya.
And there it was, the frozen Tim Wood. All right, I'm going to wrap up here shortly. Oh, man, it gets late on here. Shout out to all you guys in here, guys and gals, if there is any. All right, sorry, guys. Let me World's Worst Gamer says, I wish the Devils would listen to my son. He said the team should sign Jeff Skinner. He's off to a nice start with San Jose, 1 year, $3 million. Well, I mean, there's not much of there wasn't any money really. I mean, we had to pull shenanigans to fit Luke. Punching bag. Oh, you're talking about the photo? Yeah, that was just one of the photos the imagery that'll be burned in my mind forever of that season. It was just so sad. It was just so sad, Maria. Awful image. Chelsea said you write great blogs. Tim. The chapter reminds me of Iverson's practice. One of my favorite sports clips of all time. I always liked Iverson, but he was my brother, my younger brother's favorite player was AI. And I remember when the practice thing happened, it was great. What a clip. Not a game. Talking about practice. Bring LeChance up. I've been talking about him forever. I would love to see LeChance get a shot. Yaroslav said he's making too much money talking about Kovacevic, $4 million for a 7th D. And then Checkmonic says $4 million is not a lot now. He's a part of the team last year. Take time for him to play well. Yeah, I don't know that it's possible that he doesn't get in the lineup right away, but I don't think so. And he has a no trade. So I think, if anything, I think this could all it's going to have to be, you would imagine, Dougie or Nemitz at some point. But I really would like to have Dougie for the playoffs. I think his experience and his abilities are underappreciated by most, and I think we would miss him in the playoffs. I would hate to see our team do well up to the deadline, then move Dougie and for the defense to fall apart. Or maybe not fall apart, but regress in any way. What's going on, Brandon? 5 goals tonight, 0 power play goals, both good and bad news. Yeah, I wanted to see some tweaks on the power play unit, but maybe next game. Jason, what's going on? I'm definitely really happy to see my Devils team win one. I'm definitely happy to be back in your studio. Ace, how was your summer? It was very long, Jason. It was very long. It was kind of uneventful. I always loved the summer. In terms of hockey, it was uneventful. Probably too many life events to even it was a summer I'll never forget. Let's put it that way. Lots of things happened and didn't happen. Story for another day. It's not the bourgeoisie, Roman. It's in the end, when you do the calculation, if I'm going to eat at the game, I'm going to spend the same amount of money. So to me, it would be foolish to not buy the better tickets. Gen Pop is general population, non-suite tickets. You kids need to go with Uncle Ace, Tim. World's worst gamer for sure. The last Devils game I went to, the Devils won the Stanley Cup that season. So you're referring to a game a real long time ago, 2003. World's worst gamer. I let any people with me know not to ask for concessions. We are at the game to watch hockey and not eat. Good luck. Well, for me, that would be impossible with kids, dude. Kids want it, especially when they see it, cotton candy and all this crap. But it's also like hockey games. I guess you could eat before. I mean, I would eat before a lot of times. But I like to get there early, get in early, see warm-ups and do all that stuff. And so typically I'd want to eat at some point during the game. But I get that. Select the Boy says, peace out, guys. Let's go Devils. World's Worst Gamer, happy Thanksgiving to any Canadian Devils fans. Is it Canadian Thanksgiving? Husky says, you too, brother. Love it when you have guests on. Yeah, I'm going to try to bring guests on a little more often throughout the season. That one obviously wasn't planned. That was pretty impromptu. I guess we could get some of those too. But I am cooking up some, well, I guess depending on how long you're a fan, but for longtime fans, I'll tell you this. If you're an old school New Jersey Devils fan, there are gemstones in the works. Absolute gemstones. Longtime fans, get ready. This season, your boy is coming in hot, and I am bringing some straight up heat-seeking missiles to this channel. Missiles. I guess it's Canadian Thanksgiving. M. Sharp, I'm always starved by the time I get to the game. Too long of a drive. How far away do you live? Husky, love Kovacevic. Hope he can pick up where he left off when he comes back. Yeah, hopefully. It's going to be, he's going to have been out a very long time by the time that comes around. And we will see. Oh, man, near New Haven. One of my buddies lives out there. We went and did the pizza thing. Or, I don't know, it was in the summer, early summer. I think we went to, I forget. A few of the famous ones. One of the real ones, one of the big name ones was like super packed. But I went to a couple of them and enjoyed the New Haven pizza. It was very good. I love pizza. Cody, I might be limited on games this year, so which would you recommend? Very personal preference, but I think at this juncture, I would try to say, due to age and everything, I would tell you, Cody, that my number one recommendation would be the Washington Capitals, just in case this is Alex Ovechkin's final season. I think seeing Ovechkin, such a historic player in this league, the all-time goal scorer, I would say he would be my number one. The Capitals, and then I would probably say Sid, even though Sid has another year or so, I think, after this season. And he's still playing at a super high level as well. Penguins, and then after that, I would probably say the Edmonton Oilers, because the Connor McDavid show live is a treat. The Connor McDavid show is a treat to see live. I remember years ago, the first time I saw him live, and I was like, wow, this man is an absolute stud. Absolute stud. I'm sure traffic makes it hard to predict travel. Walt, time to bounce. Peace out, and let's go Devils. Good night, Walt. Husky, I'm out. Good show, Ace. Let's go Devils. Good night. Roman Checkmonic. Jared McCann should be Devil with the OT winner. So pick one game has to be a Rags game. I could see that. Devils versus Rags every single time would be my pick. No, I get that. Unfortunately, I probably won't be able to see the Oilers since it's going to be at a game a month. Okay, yeah, the Oilers is pretty soon. Oh, yeah, the Ring of Honor game would be a good one, too. Cody Skills will be there for the home opener. The home opener is always a fun one, especially when the team is good. Yeah, the Ring of Honor game is a huge one. Anyone have any closing comments? Closing time. Saturday night, huh, guys? Yeah, I would have ended this a while ago, but it's Saturday night. You gotta let it all hang out. Let it all loose on a Saturday night. Yeah, everyone's got to be loud for sure. I think it's going to be a ruckus building. And I really hope we win the Columbus game and come home 2-1. 2-1 feels so much better than 1-2, even though, it's still super early in the season, whatever. But 2-1 feels a lot better than 1-2. Cody Skills, thoughts on the goalies? Listen, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't slightly concerned about Markey. I don't think he's been remotely what some people have made him out to be. But I think, he seems a little shaky, but it's early on in the season. Could be an adjustment period for him. He also, while letting in a few bad, what I would consider weak goals, he's also made some incredible saves in both games as well that a lot of goalies wouldn't have made. So it's like one of those things where, 2 games, I'm not going to look too much into it just yet. Let's see what he looks like in his next start, whether that's Monday night in Columbus or when we come home on Thursday against the two-time, or I should say the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers. I'd be curious if everyone who's paying attention to this, I'm going to take one more bathroom break, then start wrapping this up. Put in the chat what year you became a fan. I'm just curious. I'm trying to gauge something. So if you could tell me what year you became a fan in the chat. I'll be back in 2 minutes. But yeah, what year did you become a fan? Tell me in the chat, folks. Tell me in the chat what year did you become a fan? I'll be back in a minute or two. We'll start wrapping this thing up on what a beautiful Saturday evening, though, huh? The New Jersey Devils go into Tampa and just win in an absolute warfare type of game. Connor Brown, 2 goals. Oh my God. Gritsuk looking like the man. Luke Hughes, 2 more assists. It's something, guys. It's something. Be back in 2 minutes, then we'll start wrapping this thing up. I'm always looking for the suggestions as well, but if you could tell me what year you became a fan, I'd appreciate that. And then any, thoughts, questions, suggestions, whatever you got. Timo. It was Timo time. And it didn't wait till March. The lighting is terrible. Timo. I can't get this guy focused. Timo time rocked out hard. Be right back. Then we'll start shutting this down. And we're back. Yeah, Markey has a new baby. Father of 2 now. Cody Skills, bottom six is also just way better than last year, but 2023. I mean, listen, this year's bottom six has shown a lot to be excited about. Connor Brown, come on down. What a game. Brandon, if the power play clicked tonight, it would have been over sooner. Guess we're going to try to run and gun this year. I mean, run and gun, I don't know. I mean, they always like to play run and gun, obviously, but the Carolinas of the world aren't going to allow you to do that. And so there needs to be a plan B and C for when the transition pond hockey gets shut down. And teams are going to try to employ it. So throughout the year, the smart teams will try to shut that down and with varying levels of effectiveness. But certain teams have definitely given the Devils fits with that. And you're going to have to go to plan B and C. You're going to have to get pucks in deep. You're going to have to go retrieve them. You're going to go to the corners, try to work the cycle, and generate offense other ways. And so hopefully we see a little bit more of that as the season progresses, and I think we will, because they're not going to be able to do the, the run and gun type game every night. Jason says they should win that Columbus game. That'd be amazing. Coming home 2-1. Who wouldn't have signed up for 2-1 through 3? Two and 1 with 3 on the road, crazy. I'm sure. I imagine he's getting less sleep. I would hope that he has one of those live-in nurse kind of people. Yeah, he's got the money. I mean, I have a couple friends that got some money that had like baby nurses. Keep your sanity with your sleep schedule. Jason says, if Markey's shaky, you have Allen. Imagine that. We have actually 2 legit goalies. Yeah, despite him being a little shaky, I still think he's overall fine, and hopefully he gets a little more comfortable as we, progress into the season. Jack says, Ace, what's going on? Just got it. Got to keep 81 and 16 together. Will be tough when Nason and Dodonov get back to take someone out. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of tough decisions. With the lineup, but Gritsuk and Brown, do you have to keep them together? I mean, the thing is, I said it earlier, I think Gritsuk will drive play on whatever line he's on. And so I do think, I said, like, Paul Cotter, I think, is the biggest loser in this whole Dodonov injury thing, because he lost Gritsuk on his line, and he was looking really good with Gritsuk too. I think Gritsuk is the kind of guy who's going to make plays for whoever is on his line. And so for tonight, it was Brown that was the beneficiary, but we'll see. I think Gritsuk is going to create no matter who he's playing with, but they certainly did look very good tonight, obviously. And I'm sure that Connor Brown is saying prayers, sending bribes, whatever it is. He is trying to ensure that he stays with Gritsuk for as long as possible, because I'm sure, and he said it in the post-game interview, he realizes what the kid can do, and he will be the beneficiary of it on a nightly basis whenever he's playing with him. Depth at goalie is something we were desperately lacking. Yeah, the goaltending situation for this franchise for like nearly a decade was pretty brutal. Cody, 5 years ago, my dad got me into hockey since against the Buffalo Sabres was my first game. Very nice. 1998, that's a decent time. So you saw 2 cups. Very cool. Jared also 97, 98. Chowski, 2007, first game was Scott Stevens Hall of Fame night. I was 9. So you were born in 98. So you're 27. Nice. First game was Stevens Hall of Fame night. It's pretty cool. M Sharp, you're a fan. Hard to say. I'm a hockey fan first, so I love great hockey and players that give it their all. So when I came back to visit the East Coast, I would go see Devils of old play. Very nice. World's Worst Gamer, veteran, December of 85. It was after watching my Leafs at the time play the Devils. Next morning, I looked at the paper to see if they were in the standings. I was shocked how bad they were. M Sharp worships Marty and both Scots. Legends. Top 100 players of all time. The great Martin Brodeur, Scott Stevens, and Scott Niedermayer. What a time to be alive. Jace, no, I was only 12, 13 when the Devils won their last cup. I remember watching, but I was still so young. Yeah. Yeah, you appreciate it more as you get older, obviously, and you're aware of more things. That's just kind of the way it goes. Tyler Bratter hitting 100 points this year would be a dream come true. I think he's going to have a shot. I think he's going to have a real shot. And I think if Jack stays healthy, we might see them both get 100. Wouldn't that be something? I think it was December. Yeah, I would love to enjoy a cup as an old man right now. Jack, I want Hamilton shot on power play 1, Myers 2. Put the core 4 with Dougie on the power play 1. That's what I want to see. That's exactly what I want to see as well. And then if they score, like, okay, you're going to complain that they scored. Like, yeah, I'm totally with you, Jack. Give me Timo, Jack, Brat, Nico, Douglas. Just want to see the team play with physicality and grit again. They did tonight. Hopefully they keep it up. M Sharp want to say 10 years. The Devils is my number 1 team. Nice. Christoph, 1992. That's awesome. So you saw all the cups. Very cool. I'm so thankful I quit being a Leafs fan. Brandon, love seeing Timo's aggressiveness. Nice. When he is on, he can change tempo of a game. Yeah. Timo's a bull, guys. For all the people that hate on Timo, like, you need a guy in your top 6 that can truck people and just do everything and be and just a pest and a bull. Timo's that guy. We don't have any other guys in the top 6 that play that game at all. And so I hope he has a big year statistically, so some of the haters just stop the nonsense. But my bar for him is always like, give me 60 points, 30-30, 35-25, 25, whatever it is. Give me 60 points, near 30 goals, truck people, get under their skin, bump the goalie, do all that other stuff, and just help this team win. John, something's got to be done about Nemitz. He is noticeably worse than every other defenseman out there. I really don't see the upside that everyone else sees with him. I think he's going to be good. He's still super young too, man. Not a ton of experience. I think he's going to be very good. But I think, with the defenseman we have waiting in the wings with his potential payday, I think it is possible that he gets dealt. I don't know. We're going to find out. I would like to see him be here long term. I do think he's going to be very good. He shows flashes. What's up, Luke? Love the ace is still going. Marky needs to get it going. Let's go Devils. Yeah, I'm about to log off. Tongue-tied. Log off momentarily. But I think Marky's looked a little rusty and a little bit shaky. Hopefully he locks it down in his next start. And hopefully it's just some early season kind of shaking off the rust, if you will. But we'll see. We will see. But he had some big stops tonight in the game. And at the end as well, when they were buzzing in that 6-on-4. All right, guys, that's it. I'm cooked. I'm completely cooked. What a game for the New Jersey Devils. Just completely erasing all of them. Not completely erasing, but erasing some of the negative feelings from the opening game against Carolina. They obviously need to figure out how to beat Carolina down the line. But for now, this team responded in a big way. Everyone was like, hey, is this the old Devils? Did we all just get kind of duped with these bottom 6 moves? And are they going to pan out? And is it the same team and the people dooming left and right? And in the end, the Devils gave their answer tonight. This is not the same team. They can respond when given some adversity, and the adversity of losing one game when some of you lunatics were writing off the season, but responded in a big way. Tampa tried to drag them into a physical battle early. They did not shy away from it. They answered, got off to a big lead. And then there was a scary time when it was a 1-goal lead, and they found a way to continue on. And Bratter with a massive play on the young season, going end to end, essentially shorthanded, and just ripping one through Vasilevsky to give the Devils a 2-goal cushion again. And then they closed the show. Down in the 6-on-4, guys just eating pucks. It was a beautiful game. Bottom 6 scoring. It was just beautiful. Watching the maturation of Arseny Gritsuk, it's going to be a fun season, guys. Hopefully they could play 60 minutes most nights, and they take us on a wild ride. But like I said, old school fans, stay tuned. There are some things percolating right now that are some wild stuff. But all right, guys, I'll be back soon. Always got things in the works. Our beloved New Jersey Devils back in action. Monday night at Columbus would be beautiful to close out the road trip with another win and come home 2-1 to a just ruckus Rock. Just pandemonium at the Rock on opening night. Always love opening night. Always loved it since I was a kid. All the extra pomp and circumstance and the light show and the thing and the all the activities outside beforehand. Opening night is always a glorious night for the fans, and I always love it. So I will certainly be there. I'm sure I'll see some of you. And wow, what a night to be a New Jersey Devils fan, folks. But appreciate the continued support. This has been really fun overall on the nights where I'm not getting completely decimated by doomers. Hopefully we get to do some cool stuff throughout the season. And that's it. This was a marathon one. Saturday night edition. But that's it. I'll be back soon. Keep your eyes peeled. Back Monday night. Maybe something before then. And we'll see. But that's it for now. I'm slightly fatigued. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.